It's the usual Saturday goal service as our referee Michael Oliver blows his whistle, and Arsenal, who are playing from left to right as we look, attacking what was the old South Bank, for those of you who remember the old Molineux. It's now the Sir Jack Hayward stand, as in the sunshine Arsenal quickly get into possession on the left touchline and then back to Gabriel and Saliba. But we've got the racing at Cheltenham. We'll keep you in touch with the cricket. The rugby union will be on Sports Extra as well, and don't forget the men's tennis final in the Australian Open is on at 8:30 in the morning, so there's a lot of live sport away from the football as well, as Lewis Skelly goes on a good strong run out of defence. Actually, Michael Oliver has played the advantage there, and he runs forward. Lee Carsley, the under-21 manager, is here. He's just sat alongside us away towards the left. I would imagine he's keeping an eye on Miles Lewis Skelly as well as Ethan Nwaneri. Both of them have been so impressive for Arsenal.
Well, Nwaneri's a certainty. He's a brilliant player and will become one of the top players in Premier League. Interesting to see Lewis Skelly, normally a left back, goes into the midfield there. First thing he does, goes in an amazing dribble and takes it around four players. He does not lack confidence, and he's right not to lack confidence. He's a quality player.
Told that he's very, but he's also a very confident young man off the field as well. Is Miles Lewis Skelly? Yeah, but he's a dynamic ball-carrying midfielder that is adapted ever so well to that left-back role that Pat talks about. Whereas Wolverhampton Wanderers, interesting what you'd noticed, the ball's gone out of play. Tell the listener what you'd spotted in the pre-match.
That's something I haven't seen before. They'd set up their defence before the game, half an hour before the game, to defend free kicks from on the right-hand side, about 20 yards, 15 yards outside the box on the right-hand side, exactly where Declan Rice puts balls in from. It is a weird thing.
Ball lifted forward, hasn't been dealt with. Havertz tries to knock it into the path of Martinelli, and it was Agbadou who got the ball away just outside the 6-yard area in that penalty area. It was a bouncing ball that caused a few issues.
Yeah, it's one of those hard ones for defenders. You don't want to have a swipe at it. You get that wrong, you'll catch the player. I'm just finishing that point about the way they were lining up to try and defend against free kicks. They need to do it against corners as well. Everyone knows Wolves haven't been great at corners and free kicks against in the last number of months, and they're against Arsenal, and we all know how good they are.
Arsenal have been awarded a throw on that far side, the left, level with the penalty area. Lewis Skelly waits to take it. It's a looping throw towards the byline, headed away by Doherty, who plays on the right-hand side of that back three for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Cross comes in from the left. Santiago Bueno to head it away. Ball is going to be retrieved by Timber. Vitor Pereira out in that technical area, urging on his side as Sarabia gets the ball towards Cunha. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about dressing room unrest. Cunha was criticised for not acknowledging the away support at Chelsea earlier in the week. Mikel Arteta watching on, as in fact he actually has to touch the ball as it came to him at pace, and a little flick of his right foot from the former Everton midfielder.
Just look at the way Wolves are lining up. It's supposed to be a 3-4-2-1, but in actual fact completely 5 at the back for the vast majority of the time so far. They've had a kick of the ball, whereas intriguingly the way Arsenal have lined up, slightly not what we expect. I was questioning before the game who would play in the right midfield position. Would it be Trossard, would it be Havertz or whatever? Turns out it's Nwaneri who's went a little bit further back, allowing Martinelli to go ahead of him.
Chesterfield 0, Port Vale 1, Burton Albion 0, Rotherham United 1, and latest scores in League 2 and League 1 as we're going racing with John Hunt.
And we're looking at the best horse in Great Britain currently in Constitution Hill, the former champion hurdler who returned to action after a spell of injury at Christmas with a fabulous win in the Christmas hurdle. Here he is approaching the second last flight of hurdles in the Unibet hurdle. This is his prep for another crack at the champion hurdle. He's over 2 out, and he is just ambling along. He's clear of the moment of Fidu Dairy, Brentford Hope, Spirits Bay, all the challengers. Well, they're not really challenging. They're a long way behind him at the moment as they turn now for the final flight of hurdles. Constitution Hill was held up early. He took it up at the 4th with an extravagant jump. Flights 5 and 6, he absolutely showing off. He was tremendous with his jumping technique, and he's now breezing down towards the last. Clearly, with the festival 6 weeks away, he doesn't want to have a hard race here. Doesn't look like he's going to get it if he can just pop over the last flight of hurdles. Oh, he made a mistake there. Gasps from the crowd. I don't know what happened, whether he just lost concentration, but he's soon back in the groove. Brentford Hope is chasing him up the hill in vain, but just look at him. He's such a class horse. Bar that mistake at the last, goodness knows what happened there. He's won easy, and he's the one to beat in the champion hurdle in 6 weeks' time. Constitution Hill makes it a perfect 10 out of 10 over hurdles.
Thanks, John. 6 weeks away, 45 days and counting. And you'll hear the best possible coverage of the Cheltenham Festival with one of the best in the business, John Hunt. BBC Radio 5 Live, also available on the BBC Sounds app. It remains 0-0. There have been no chances whilst we've been listening to that.
No, they haven't. They're 45 days away. You described that to me before as 45 sleeps away. That's how much you're looking forward to it.
St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership at McDermott Park. No other goals to tell you about elsewhere around the country. As wherever you are in the world, it is a pleasure to welcome listeners to the BBC World Service, to Molyneux, where it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Arsenal 0. We've been playing for 6 minutes as Partey passes the ball forward, and Rice back towards Raya, quickly gets it out towards Gabriel in their red and white shirts, playing from left to right as we look. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, who haven't got a very good record against Arsenal. Indeed, Arsenal have scored in each of the last 34 meetings against Wolves in all competitions since a 1-0 victory back in 1979. Paul Bradshaw was the last Wolves goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet some 46 years ago. So that tells you everything about the dominance and the struggles for these two when they've met. As Agbadou goes back to Sarr, his forward ball, and then it's played out by João Gomez. Agbadou then gets it away. Missed clearance by Saliba, had a swipe at that, runs through to Strand Larsen. Cunha going through the middle. Strand Larsen holds onto the ball on the left-hand side. Arsenal, as a result, get a lot of red and white shirts back behind the ball. It does allow Doherty to join the attack. In towards Cunha, loses his balance, and in fact, free kick given away by Partey on that challenge. Direct free kick for Wolves.
Yeah, it was a brilliant run by Cunha. It was through there. Strand Larsen had the ball. There was a millisecond where it was on, where the pass was on. Every Wolves fan could see it. Could he gone it through, Cunha would have been 1-1 in Raya. But of course, Strand Larsen, he's more of a finisher than a creator, and didn't quite see that at the right moment. However, free kick, dangerous possession for Wolves.
Burton Albion have equalised at home to Rotherham United in League One, and another latest score in League One is Wigan Athletic are leading Bristol Rovers by 1-0. In the Premier League here at Molyneux, it's a shade over 30 yards out from goal. It is right of centre. Cunha is going to leave it. It's Sarabia who curls it in, and it drops inside the 6-yard area, and Gabriel, arms open wide, was happy to see that bounce out of play for a goal kick. Update from Anfield, Naz Faruqi.
Positive start for Liverpool. Nice link-up play involving Robertson and Gakpo. His shot from distance over the Ipswich crossbar, but this is a concentrated start from the visitors, and it is 0-0.
What about Bournemouth Nottingham Forest? Alistair Bruce Paul.
1-0 to Bournemouth. Justin Kluivert has just rifled it in with his right foot from 25 yards out. Nottingham Forest allowed him to run 20-30 yards with the ball. He looked up, saw the opportunity, and it's another fabulous strike from Kluivert. Bournemouth 1, Forest 0.
Sarr here almost caught in a bit of a tangle as his touch was a heavy one. Havertz went to close him down inside the penalty area, and that was Sarr on the full stretch to get the ball away, but Arsenal have got it back. Rice wraps it in early, and it will run through towards Sarr, but that was a lucky escape.
A very lucky escape. And was it against Bournemouth? I think it was against Bournemouth that Sarr did that a couple of times, and ended up there with 3 penalty kicks for Kluivert to score.
You're right, he gave away 2 of the penalties, and Kluivert on that day, a hat-trick of penalties. He's given Bournemouth the lead. Meanwhile, Hearts are 1-0 up at home to Kilmarnock. There's just a point between them down there as the two teams are struggling in the Scottish Premiership. That's at Tynecastle. That's an all-important goal. We'll get you details of it when we can. It remains 0-0 here, but Bournemouth are 1-0 up against Nottingham Forest as they look to extend their unbeaten run to 12. Trossard cuts in field, dispossessed. Semedo will run it clear for Wolverhampton Wanderers on that far side, and makes good ground too. And Semedo's carried on running. Trossard tracks him, cross comes in from the right. Here is Sarabia on the run, left-footed volley, 10 yards out, couldn't keep it down. What a run by Semedo. Meanwhile, a goal at Southampton, Lee Blakeman.
What a noise! Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. Southampton's first attack, ball in from the right, nobody picked up Bednarek, bullet header, Southampton 1, Newcastle 0.
And we almost had a goal here, Pat Nevin.
Really would have been one of the goals of the season. I think, I'm not exaggerating at all. He's got the ball in his own right back area. The pace he showed there, the ball was put into the back post there. The volley was brilliant, leathered, but just over the crossbar. It was a beautiful move and the best chance of the game so far.
Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 1 is the latest score from Pittodrie. Ailey Barber has news of that goal at Tynecastle.
Early goal at Hearts by Elton Kabangu, recently signed, and he gets his third goal in a Hearts shirt. It was a recycled effort. He was all on his own, centre of the penalty area, and he just smashed it in to the empty net. Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 0.
It's turning into one of those busy Saturday afternoons. Goal at Anfield, Maz Faruqi.
Goal for Liverpool, scored by Szoboszlai, just sneaking it into the bottom right-hand corner, across Christian Walton. Maisie run forward, allowed to take a shot on, edge of the area. Liverpool 1, Ipswich 0.
We've got commentary to come later on Manchester City against Chelsea. Cunha just couldn't take it into his stride. Saliba back in the team, back towards Raya. Mikel Arteta is quick to say to his players, just slow down at the moment, just calm down. As Partey does try and have that controlling and calming influence in the midfield. He gets the ball then from Gabriel, he passes it forward. Lewis Skelly comes onto that, sliding challenge comes in. Andre says he got the ball, Michael Oliver agrees. Wolves pick it up, this is Sarabia. Semedo runs forward with the ball, infield now towards Cunha, right corner of the area. Cunha with the cross is a dangerous one, Timber did well. Diving, actually facing his own goal to get that header away. Arsenal now might be able to break. Havertz on this near side, closed down by Aguado. Good game.
A great game so far. Just been that little problem that Salah had before. He thought, aren't they going to go inside their own shells, the Wolves player? Absolutely the opposite. Since that moment, they've broken brilliantly. You can hear the Wolves fans. They're loving it as well. Looking particularly dangerous on that right-hand side, Wolves.
The latest goal comes at Bristol City, Molly Stevens.
Absolutely stunning free kick from Scott Twine. Bristol City 1, Blackburn Rovers 0. Twine on the left-hand side, just outside of the area, curling past the keeper, left-hand side of the net. 1-0 Bristol City.
Setback for Blackburn Rovers and their playoff hopes in the Championship. We've been playing for just over 12 minutes here in the sunshine. It is still 0-0.
The problem that Arsenal have got just now, they want to get the wide players on the ball. Martinelli hasn't really had much of a kick of the ball yet. Manieri, we know how good he is. He's hardly got on the ball either just now. So Trossard, Martinelli, etc., get them on the ball and they'll certainly cause problems. But so far, not enough of them.
Thomas Partey plays it to Timber, does a 360-degree turn in the central area of the field, away then from the midfielder in the João Gomez. This is Declan Rice, pops up, and it's picked up by Jose Sarr.
He's absolutely gutted because he's got the ball in a great position there, but his first touch wasn't perfect. It had to be perfect because it was a hard take. But with Declan Rice, he gets himself into some great positions.
Let's get an update from Brighton. John Southall.
Brighton 0, Everton 0, just had a lengthy stoppage. Dominic Calvert-Lewin pulled up, holding his right hamstring. He's just gone off. You have to feel for him. Scored that goal last weekend for the first time in 16 games. He's hobbled off. Beto's come on. Brighton 0, Everton 0.
BBC Radio 5 Live, the World Service, and also available on the BBC Sounds app. 13 minutes played here at Molineux. As goalless it is, Gabriel goes long. Doherty leaps, heads it out of play. Arsenal throw. Just in from that left touch line as it bounces behind the advertising hoardings towards the Arsenal support. It'll be Lewis Skelly who picks up that ball, waiting to take the throw on the left towards Trossard. It was always actually going away from Trossard, and Wolves sliding in through Sarabia concede another throw.
Yeah, just looking at Arsenal usually, but this time they've usually got at least one corner or a free kick from a dangerous area that can go and attack and bring the big guns up from the back. That's not happened quite yet, and I think Wolves fans will be delighted about that because from set pieces they have been weak and Arsenal are very, very strong.
Trossard fouled by Semedo. He just caught him from behind. It'll be a free kick.
Did I speak too quickly there about free kicks being given away in dangerous areas?
Well, I was just going to say, this is from one of the areas where you were talking about where Wolves were practicing pre-match. You know, just over 30 yards out, one of those balls coming in from Declan Rice, just in from the touchline.
It's a wee bit further out than he would like it, and it's not perfect, but massive one for Arsenal. They know how dangerous they are from there. usually they've got brilliant quality putting it in that danger area.
Lincoln City are leading Peterborough United by a 1-0 at Sinsel Bank in League One. We'll be going to Wearside in a moment, but let's just stay with this free kick. In fact, Rice takes it down the line. He goes short to the left. Trossard then plays it towards Wanyeri. Left of the penalty area to the byline, cuts it back, hasn't been dealt with. Havertz tries to bring that ball under control, and then it is volleyed away by João Gomez, and then Raya brings it down. Lovely first touch by Raya, who's actually outside the centre circle there, the Arsenal goalkeeper. Sunderland-Plymouth, Chris Coles.
0-0. Sunderland seeing all of the ball as expected, but nothing really to show for their efforts. Only an Enzo Lefebvre cross-come shot that was comfortable for Hazard in the Plymouth goal. Sunderland 0, Plymouth 0.
Timber forward, near side the right. Martinelli level with the penalty area. He's the one playing on this right-hand side. Trossard is to the left of Havertz for that front three of Arsenal. Still missing, of course, Bukayo Saka. Ball chipped forward by Partey, in towards Havertz. Lost his footing.
And the best part of Arsenal, just a moment there, Sarr gets the ball back there. The best part of Arsenal for a lot of the time in their, outfield play is the three on the right-hand side, but none of them are available just now. White's not available, Odegaard's not available, Saka's not available, and it's whether the three that are playing there in their stead can do the same sort of job.
Cunha plays it back. Andre sends it across towards Semedo. Room and licence to run forward for the right wing-back. 10 yards over the halfway line. Semedo slows down. Trossard is in front of him. Plays it down that right touchline towards Cunha. Sliding in was Declan Rice. Got the ball. It will be a Wolves throw-in deep inside the Arsenal half.
He's brilliant at that, Declan Rice. I mean, not just the time in the tackle, the fact that he's everywhere in the pitch, but he covers his full-backs every single time. Brilliant play by Rice.
Here is Andre, short ball out towards Semedo, back towards Cunha, midway through the Arsenal half. Lewis Skelly did ever so well, then he was fouled. That'll be a free kick. There's groans, but it was a clear foul. Update from Deepdale, Mike Minay.
Bristol 0, Middlesbrough 0, but the visitors have lost their top scorer this season after less than 10 minutes. Emmanuel Latila limped off injured. 11 championship goals for him. His replacement, Marcus Forss, hasn't scored all season. Hasn't really affected the away side though. 3 good efforts since. Preston 0, Middlesbrough 0.
Now at the top of League Two, Walsall, who'd previously won their last 9, the leaders, were beaten at Valley Parade. Bradford City moving 4th in the table after that 3-0 success. And Crewe Alexander, second in the table, have lost just one of their last 18. However, they've fallen behind Nikesh Rugani.
They have been stunned by a stunning goal from Accrington Stanley. Sean Wally, who's had a couple of good early opportunities, didn't miss with his third. A lob from outside the area. Philip Marshall just couldn't do anything about it. It's Crewe Alexander 0, Accrington 1.
Tranmere Rovers are leading Gillingham by a 1-0. Gillingham, who've lost their last 4. That's also in League Two. Andre in the midfield. Semedo on the right. Puts in another cross, this time straight into the arms of David Raya.
Wasn't a great cross there, but they're getting into good positions, as mentioned there beforehand, on that right-hand side. More often than not, it's Semedo playing as a right wing-back. Great pace, but that ball wasn't good enough in. One thing that was noticeable, Strand Larsen always gets there. He's always in the right area. It didn't quite reach him there, but he will not stop getting there.
Let's get an update from the Hawthorns. West Brom Portsmouth, Pat Murphy.
It's 0-0. Bright start from Portsmouth, urged on by their raucous supporters, but West Brom beginning to get their range now. Diangana wide just now, edge of the box. West Brom 0, Portsmouth 0.
Just going to the Hawthorns and being here at Molineux today as Martinelli just picks up the ball, running forward, and then out to Trossard. Trossard chips the ball in. Havertz with a header, drops just wide. And it will be a goal kick. But I was just going to say, many photographers listen to BBC Radio 5 Live, and the mention of the Hawthorns and being here at Molineux, it reminded me of Matt Ashton, a photographer who has sadly passed away recently. He was a huge Shrewsbury fan, but would often work in these parts. So I'd just like to pass on our condolences to his family and friends and colleagues, because Matt was a really, really top bloke, and he'll be much missed. It remains 0-0 here. We've been playing for 19 minutes play. There's a try in the rugby. James Burridge.
2 tries, 13 minutes gone, and it's 7 points apiece. Leicester open the scoring. Isaiah Parisi crashing through under the post after the pack did the damage. Gloucester replied within a minute. Thomas Williams crashing through under the post. Lovely work from the Gloucester back line. 7 points all, 13 minutes gone.
Fleetwood Town, they've had 3 wins in their last 5 games, but they're behind to Carlisle United. Pete Wild's team have had a setback there. Fleetwood 0, Carlisle United 1 in League Two. What about that chance for Havertz, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's absolutely fabulous at arriving late. And when he's playing centre forward up front, he doesn't get as many of those chances. When he's coming from slightly deeper, he is so dangerous. He scored one during the week, ahead in those possession. He is pretty good at them. He is the top goal scorer in the league. But what's intriguing about Arsenal, they've kind of got a front four, and every one of them is playing in every position. So Havertz has been left, right, centre and deeper. And you can say exactly the same for Martinelli, Trossard and Lanier and Ranieri. Absolutely incredible. They don't care who plays who, as long as they get set possessions.
Lewis Skelly keeps going into that central role, very inverted from his left back. Gabriel was the one who was filling in for him at that stage. He's going to be some player as well, is Miles Lewis Skelly. He's only 18 years of age. They've got really two fine prospects in the teenagers of Lewis Skelly and Ranieri, as Havertz comes in off this right touchline and then passes the ball to Lewis Skelly, always willing to receive the ball as he rolls it out again in that central area to Trossard, and then he'll make the run in behind, but Trossard doesn't use him. He sends him across. It's caught by Sarr. We'll go back to Southampton. Lee Blakeman.
Chance here for Newcastle. Isak gets brought down in the area. It's still Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. No penalty given for that. Adam Armstrong down the other end has just had a great chance. Shot straight at Dubravka. Southampton 1, Newcastle 0.
Remember, Liverpool, the leaders, are ahead. Bournemouth lead Nottingham Forest by 1-0. Brighton and Hove Albion, Everton remains 0-0, as it does here at Molineux. Pat?
I think probably Arsenal, they look the better side. It doesn't mean you say they're more likely to score. You know, they're holding the ball well, their movements is good, great understanding between the players. But the structure of the Wolves team looks pretty good at the moment. You know, the wide players, particularly on the right-hand side, Semedo looks good. And if they can only get some balls to Cunha in those dangerous positions, they look really good in the break, and that's exactly what they're doing now.
Cunha, his ball needed to be better to Strand Larsen. That was, again, prophetic words from you.
but Cunha, well, not so prophetic. I thought Cunha would actually find Strand Larsen, but they've got a great understanding, haven't they, those two? The problem is they don't get enough of the ball in the final third, which has been the problem, because those two are class acts.
Martinelli makes the run into the inside left channel, but there tidying up was Bueno, and he gets the ball back from Sarr, and time to bring the ball clear on that right-hand side. Good noise inside Molineux this afternoon under these clear blue skies.
I thought it was quite nervy beforehand. The Wolves fans I've been talking to in the last few weeks are absolutely not confident about the situation they're in. Then again, if you've lost 9 goals in the last 3 games and haven't got any points, it does affect your confidence. You could feel it about 10 minutes before the game, but just now they're beginning to grow again. They're beginning to believe again at the moment.
Well, they've lost all 3 games in 2025 in the league, and on 2 occasions where they've lost each of their first 4 league games in a calendar year. On the 4th match, on both occasions, it was against Arsenal. In 1906, when Bert Freeman scored 2 goals as Woolwich Arsenal, and then in 1982, where again Arsenal won by 2-1. That was at Highbury. But it remains 0-0 on this occasion, and Wolves, who have been conceding goals of late, have by and large protected Jose Sarr quite well. We're past the midway point in the first half. Their only notable scare, that Havertz header that was wide. But Wolves are forward. They had that good chance through Sarabia that was volleyed over. There's a diagonal ball spread out to this near side for Ait-Nouri. Cut out though by the head of Timber. Picked up by Martinelli on the right as we go back to Lee Blakeman at St Mary's.
Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. When you came to me a few moments ago, I said Isak went down in the area. Long VAR check. It looks like we're going to have a penalty. Sam Barrett's just been called over to the screen. Long check.
Trossard with a cross, sorry Lee. Havertz with a header saved by the legs of Sarr. Give us a shout, we'll be back to you with that penalty. That was another chance.
Another chance, and again it's Havertz getting in the right areas there. He did everything he's supposed to do. You headed it with pace down towards the goalkeeper's legs. Problem was, it was straight at the goalkeeper's legs. Yes, it's a save, but Havertz knows he'll feel he should have scored there. But great chance for Arsenal.
So we've got a penalty, you'll hear it here on BBC Radio 5 Live. As soon as that ball is on the spot, we'll be back at St Mary's to see if Newcastle United can equalise. It's still 0-0 here. Remember, Bournemouth are ahead, Liverpool lead. Whether Southampton's lead is intact remains to be seen. As here is Cunha coming forward, threads it through. Sarabia, return ball, tidied up at the back by Saliba, all the way to Raya, and it remains 0-0.
Once again, Cunha's body language wasn't brilliant there.
Back to Southampton, Lee Blakeman.
Isak stands over the ball with his hands on his hips. Mind games with him and Alex McCarthy. Referee Sam Barrett puts the whistle to his lips, looking to score for a 5th Premier League away game in a row. He walks back, he's taking his time here. Alexander Isak, and it goes into the bottom corner. Nice side foot finish. 16 for the season now. Southampton 1, Newcastle 1.
The goal's going in live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Arsenal are attacking. Rice, edge of the area, plays it short and square. Partey to shoot from distance. Right-footed, well off target. Goal kick, 0-0.
It's just a lot of time to consider the Kai Havertz positions he can get himself in. And they're just not marking him well enough. Look, he's brilliant at it. He's a tall player. He's good in the air. But this isn't even from set pieces. He's getting too much freedom in there, and that is a real concern for Wolves at the moment.
Goal of the Hawthorns, Pat Murphy.
To West Brom, Alex Mowat, 25 yards out, his favourite left foot. He hit it well enough, fairly low, but the keeper, Nicholas Schmidt, should have got it. Squirmed out of his hands to his left. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 0.
Portsmouth have lost their last 5 away from home in the Championship. Arsenal win the ball with Trossard. There's no width on the left. Chips the ball in towards Martinelli, takes it on his chest, and then checked as he entered the penalty area.
No, I'm not giving it. I think that's shoulder to shoulder. He just wasn't really strong enough there. Understandably so. He's given away a bit of foot and a bit 3 stone. But no, never a penalty there.
Mas Faruqi at Anfield.
Wes Burns has gone down after stretching his knee in a challenge for the ball. One of those that always makes you grimace when you see it again on the replay monitor. He immediately signalled for medical attention, and the stretcher has come out. So we've had a significant pause in play. It is still Liverpool 1, Ipswich 0.
Wicket in the cricket, Daniel Norcross.
An early one, Abhishek Sharma, LBW to Wood, an absolute 92 mile per hour rocket. He referred it, but it was plumb out. India 17 for 1 after 1.5 overs.
Crawley without a win in 6 have fallen behind at Edgeley Park. Stockport County leading Crawley then by a goal to 0 in League One. Wolverhampton Wanderers forward, still 0-0 here at Molineux. In the shadows now as that weak winter sunshine just almost disappears away from the pitch entirely. But at a walking pace, Wolves midway through the Arsenal half. Andre, central position, plays it back towards Doherty. Doherty, right of the centre circle, slows it down. Santiago Bueno. Agbadou now just over the halfway line. Patient play by the home team. Arsenal have got everybody back behind the ball bar Havertz. Trying the rugby, James Burridge.
2 tries again. It's tit for tat between these two. Gloucester 12, Leicester 14. Firstly, Mike Brown, 39-year-old Mike Brown scoring to the left of the post. And then Christian Wade has scored in the corner, although it's been double checked by the TMO. 7 points to 14, but it might be 12-14, we'll see.
Commentary on Sports Extra. Don't forget the Six Nations is underway next weekend. The best possible coverage throughout on BBC Radio 5 Live. It remains 0-0 here. This is Partey. In it goes towards Havertz. Havertz spins inside the centre circle. Out towards Trossard. Trossard coming onto the ball off that left touchline. Trossard left corner of the box. Low ball in. Bueno moves it away.
It's a really long game, isn't it? There's a lot of space in the middle here. And, you know, you get games like this, it always ends up in very good chances, usually for both sides.
The Wolves bench have spotted something because they've just called for Hwang to be coming on. So there's going to be a change that is going to be made as Saliba infield to Thomas Partey. He goes further square towards Rice, 30 yards out. Trossard makes his way out of that penalty area on the left-hand side, creates the width. Lewis Skelly will pass the ball towards the Belgian. Semedo, though, is in front of him. Lewis Skelly will trot round the back. Trossard tries to thread it through. Cut out on the edge of the area by Andre. Wolves defending well. Still remains 0-0. They clear it up towards Strand Larsen, and Gabriel will put it out of play for a throw. At Deepdale has been a goal. Mike Mine.
And it's Preston who've scored first. Stefan Tadarsson cutting in from the left of the box. Right foot curler around Glover, and they lead. Preston 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Thank you, Mike. Almost half an hour played. No other goals elsewhere around the country. And there is a stoppage in play, and it is Strand Larsen who has gone down.
Yeah, he was limping just a few moments before that. You're right, the bench has spotted it. He kept on trying to go for a little bit, but he's lying back there, and he's got his hands over his face. He looks as if he knows he's done himself some damage.
Bournemouth lead Forest by a goal to nil. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Everton 0. Liverpool are 1-0 up at home to Ipswich, and there's been another goal at St Mary's. Lee Blakeman.
Newcastle ahead, Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. Murphy with a great through ball. Isak in behind, another one for him. Nice finish across goal. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2.
How do you think Hwang coming on for Strand Larsen will affect things from a Wolves point of view?
Do you know, not too badly. Not too badly. Strand Larsen's, he's put himself about a bit, and I'm very impressed with the way he's getting himself into good positions so far. In fact, so far this season, he's got those 8 goals. Yeah, he's the top goal scorer. But Hwang's a good player as well. He can play up front as the top man up there, and it won't change the system. It won't change the style in any way whatsoever.
Looks like are they testing the hamstring of his right leg, the way that it's been lifted and placed on one of the shoulders of the physio.
They're also checking his knee as well, which he's obviously concerned about. But if it's a hamstring, you don't take a chance, you come off.
Leyton Orient, who are unbeaten in 9 in League One, they're at home to Reading today and they've taken the lead. Leyton Orient 1, Reading 0. And we'll get an update from Bournemouth with this stoppage in play here. Alistair Bruce Ball.
15 minutes left in the first half. Bournemouth leading Nottingham Forest by a goal to nil. Kluivert's sweet finish early on. Forest attacking. Wood heads behind for a goal kick. Good contest though. Kepa's made one save from Ryan Yates. Dipping effort low to his right hand side. Semenyo nearly made it 2-0 to Bournemouth. Lovely little dribble in the box. Reversed the shot into the far corner, but Sells got down to make the save. Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
A trip along the south coast, and we'll go to the Amex and John Southall.
Brighton 0, Everton 0. It's a slow burner, this one in, I have to say. Yet to have a shot on target. I have no more to add. Brighton 0, Everton 0.
I can only imagine the look of Mark Chapman's face with you on a slow burner and a goalless draw. Cheltenham 1, Salford City 0 is the latest score in League 2. Strand Larsen unable to continue. He's back on his feet, but he's been replaced by Hee-Chan Hwang, as we will go back to Southampton and Lee Blakeman.
It's a crazy game there. Still Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. Joel Linton's just picked the ball up, back to goal, 22 yards out. Turn, shot, off the post. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2.
It remains 0-0. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, it was a really lively start to this game, but maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes have calmed down quite a bit. Wolves look a little bit more confident now, as I say, getting down the right hand side. We've just seen a little replay of that chance that Wolves had before, and it was Semedo wasn't going down the far side, played it over to Sarabia, who couldn't get it on target. But there's been good chances, both sides, to some argument. With some argument they should have actually scored, but yeah, slightly the better chances for Arsenal.
Timber with a throw on the right, finds Martinelli, back it goes to the Arsenal right back, holds off Aït-Nouri, helped out by Wanyeri, just about kept the ball in play, breaks towards Martinelli, he loses the ball and Wolves might be able to break. João Gomez infield towards Sarabia, short of the halfway line, his diagonal ball. Wolves now with Cunha running forward, a little bit fortuitous that, then it does break down behind Hwang. As we go to West Brom where there's been a goal, Pat Murphy.
Another goal for West Brom from Diangana, another mistake by Schmidt, the keeper. Great run by Johnson, fluffed his shot, took his eye off the ball, the keeper, Diangana, from 6 yards out. West Brom 2, Portsmouth 0.
Coventry City, who are unbeaten in 7 games at home, have taken the lead. We'll bring you details of it, but Coventry 1, Watford 0 is the latest score.
Yeah, we've had a stop and play here, and I think Timber's gone down holding his face as if he's quite badly hurt. I have to say, I must admit, I did not see it at all, but the referee wasn't for stopping the place, which is quite unusual for a head knock.
So there's another stoppage here, as we will get details of that Coventry goal. Naz Premji.
Yes, it was a cross in from the right-hand side, and Victor Torp from close range couldn't miss past Jonathan Bond. Coventry City 1, Watford 0.
Actually, I've just seen that little one there for Timber. It wasn't a foul. He just tripped into the opponent's shoulder, and those ones can be very, very painful indeed. So I don't think Timber is acting there in any way whatsoever.
No. The way that he fell, Timber.
You'll be axed for comments like that.
And you would say that. 11 minutes to go to half-time. 0-0, and we're about to get back underway. And Timber looks like he's able to continue. Exeter 0, Blackpool 1 is the latest score in League One. It remains 0-0 here at Molineux. Partey to take it midway through his own half. Arsenal are playing from left to right. The ball goes high up in the air. It drops away off the legs of João Gomez. It's hit forward by Rice, and it will run through to Sarr. There's been another goal at Anfield. That's Farouki.
And it's a second for Liverpool. The ball from the left swept in, fired into the far post for Salah just to knock it in. Liverpool 2, Ipswich 0.
Trossard coming forward. That will only increase the pressure on Arsenal to get maximum points. There's no room for error for Arsenal in their pursuit of the league leaders, who are 2-0 up against a struggling Ipswich Town side. That means that with that goal difference between Wolves and Ipswich separating them from the relegation zone on goal difference, Ipswich will remain in the bottom three as they continue to ship further goals. As here a free kick is awarded to Arsenal, much to the annoyance of the Wolverhampton Wanderers players, and there's going to be a booking.
Yeah, he's getting his card out very quickly. That's annoyed the Wolves players, 3 of them around the referee. You have to be careful, you're not allowed to do that with the referees anymore. And the referee's giving the right talking to. He's having none of it at all. The fans don't like it. But remember, we were talking earlier on about the specific position where Wolves were wanting to defend from the free kicks. Well, it's kind of that position now. They had one before, but it was left-hand side, which isn't exactly the favourite position for Rice to put it in. So here we have it now. Rice is going to put it in. Noticeably, Wolves are a little bit deeper than they usually would defend this. We'll see if it works.
João Gomez was the player booked for descent to Michael Oliver. Free kick, Rice to take it, kills it, right-footed. Headed up in the air by Andre, drops on the edge of the box, headed further away by Bueno. And the referee then gives a free kick in favour of the home side. And Lewis Skelly there had to be a little bit careful, because he kept the ball at his feet as he ran away. It looked like he was doing it deliberately. Whether the referee would argue he wasn't necessarily delaying the restart because Wolves weren't in a position to take the free kick is debatable.
He is lucky. You are spot on. He knew exactly what he was doing there. Tried to slow down the play a little bit, and the referee had already given a free kick, and Wolves are going to try and take it quickly, which they wouldn't have been allowed to because it was a head knock.
Lincoln City 2, Peterborough United 0, Stockport County 2, Crawley Town 0. Latest scores elsewhere around the country. It remains 0-0 here. Here is Cunha, just outside the centre circle, passes the ball square. Semedo is ahead of him at right wing back. Doherty then comes forward. Sarabia is the player who plays it back to Bueno midway through his own half. In the sunshine now, it's the only shaft of sunlight that is on that field of play as Partey steps out of midfield. His diagonal ball, Timber tries to get there first. Havertz battling for it, might break, no, tied it up by Gomez. His ball was a risky one. Andre went into the challenge and gives away a free kick inside the D. It was always going to be a dangerous challenge, and this is going to be a very dangerous free kick for Wolverhampton Wanderers as we quickly go to Bournemouth and Alistair Bruce ball.
Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Feisty first half. Elliot Anderson not happy with the challenge on him by Tyler Adams in midfield. Even stuff, good game. Bournemouth leading 1-0.
So this free kick, it was Andre on Rice.
I have to say, Declan Rice went down very, very easily there. He was on his way down before the tackle was made, but there was contact there. As you can hear, the Wolves fans are not happy about that. It happened just about dead on the line, a couple of inches outside. They've managed to sneak it back about 2 yards already. I'm sure you've noticed, Deno, but it's still a great position for any number of players. I mean, Declan Rice will want to try it. Havertz loves it from there. There's anyone on Trossard as well.
Well, it's dead centre, right in the D. So for Jose Sarr, the Wolves goalkeeper, you know, this could go either side of him. He's got everybody back. He's got João Gomez, who's lying down behind a 5-man wall. There are 2 other golden shirts just to the edge of it. Aït-Nouri is standing to the left of the wall. You've got at least 5 Arsenal players who are all having a good conflab about who's going to take this free kick. Wanyeri, Rice, Martinelli walks away. Saliba was even offering his input. That leaves Wanyeri, Trossard and Havertz.
No, Havertz, I thought he'd walked away. I think it's Declan Rice there, isn't it? Rice fancies it. Wanyeri and Trossard, yeah.
So, Rice, Trossard, Wanyeri. This would be a controversial moment given the nature of how Wolves feel that free kick was conceded. Wanyeri looks poised. Trossard It is going to be Wanyeri, hits it into the wall, comes back to Wanyeri, hits it again, blocked a second time, into the area. Saliba gets there first, loses the ball, break on for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Cunha, golden shirt, streaking forward. He's got Hwang to one way and Sarabia to the left. Hwang makes the run towards the right. Cunha hangs on to the ball, and then Cunha still waits, and then almost comes to a standstill and passes the ball out towards Semedo, and it feels as if that moment has been lost. Semedo looks to send over the cross. Saliba is there, drops to the edge of the area. Goal at the Hawthorns, Pat Murphy.
3-0 West Brom, a brilliant goal. Dean Garner timed his pass perfectly. Back to you, William.
Not the best from Wanyeri there. That free kick straight into the wall. Getting no height on it whatsoever. Wasn't trying to go under the wall because there was a player lying there anyway. So I don't think he'll be taking the next one, Denner.
Penalty at Brighton, John Southall.
Everton nil, they're not happy, the Brighton players. Lewis Dunk's having a long conversation with the referee. The referee's been to the monitor, he's looked at it. Veltman went down as he fell under the challenge from Beto. His arm came down and caught the ball and pushed it away in the trajectory, and the referee has given the penalty. Come back to us, Ian, because this could take a while.
Will do. Bristol City 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Blackburn are level. Here is Havertz, able to turn 30 yards out from goal. Looks to the right side of the penalty area. Martinelli, though, easily challenged and tackled by Agbadou. Burton Albion 2, Rotherham United 1 is the latest score in League One. That controversial free kick, though, has just fired up the crowd.
It has fired up the crowd, but for Arsenal, I don't think they've been creating anywhere near as much as they should have.
Back to Brighton, John.
Yeah, the ball's about to be put on the spot by Iliman Ndiaye. Brighton 0, Everton 0. Controversial penalty. You can probably hear the boos around the stadium. The home fans do not like it. Veltman went down under the challenge, handballed it. The referee took a long look at VAR, went to the screen, and he's given it. This has taken an eternity, but Bruggen has been booked as well, the Brighton goalkeeper. The boos around the Amex, and Ndiaye puts the ball onto the spot, just backs up onto the edge of the penalty area. The goalkeeper, all in red, awaits the penalty. 0-0, steps up, strikes it to the bottom right hand corner, and he scores, and Everton have their lead. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
It remains 0-0 here at Molineux as we go racing the Cleve Hurdle with John Hunt.
Turning for home, one flight of hurdles left to jump in, 6 set out, only 3 of them count, it would appear. Botox, Haas, Gal Road and Monmiral. Strong leader, has not shown anything just yet, although he's now starting to motor, but he's 10 lengths behind. He's got seemingly an impossible task, and Crambo out of the race as well, really. He's miles back, having made a desperate mistake at the 5th hurdle. Down they come towards the last. Gal Road back in front from Monmiral, who's chasing him pretty hard. Then Botox Haas, the run uphill to the line. Strong leader staying on now, but surely has left it too late. Gal Road, a horse who's finished second so many times. Is he about to get a big win? It looks that way. Gal Road driven out from Monmiral, and Gal Road wins it for Nigel and Sam Twiston Davis. Monmiral and Botox Haas second and third, and strong leader never nearer than at the finish. He's finished 4th.
Arsenal have had young Miles Lewis Skelly sent off by Michael Oliver. It is the 19th red card in the Premier League under Mikel Arteta. Wolves were on the break, and Lewis Skelly with the trip, and he's been shown red.
He has been shown red, and you're not going to believe this. He's been shown red. If this is for a goal-scoring chance, he is only 10 yards outside the opposition's box. There is 80 yards to go, so it must be for violent conduct. It must be for that. That doesn't look like to me like violent conduct. That looks like a cynical trip, but it doesn't look like violent conduct. So the referee's got to explain to me, is that violent conduct or is that a goal-scoring chance? Which, considering how far back that is, I have never seen that in my entire life. I'm stunned by a red card there. Well, I have to say,
I've got to say, when he produced the red, I could not believe it. That cannot be for the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Other yellow cards are following. I think Timber's just been booked. Michael Oliver is being surrounded by the Arsenal players. But this is something that Darren England will be looking back at Stockley Park.
No, they must do. They cannot let that go without having a very good look at it. They must have a good reason to send him off. It doesn't look like he's changing it in any way. He's not coming over to look at anything at all. I'm stunned by this. If that decision stays, I am staggered.
But Pat, I have actually, looking at it, I don't think it was even violent conduct.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be, I'm sure, violent conduct or goal scoring opportunity. It's not a goal scoring opportunity, so it is surely violent conduct. It's beyond me. I'm sure I'm wrong. Please someone tell me why I'm getting this wrong.
There's another goal at Anfield, Masfarouki.
And it's a third for Liverpool. Walton, the Ipswich keeper, spilling the ball from a Szoboszlai shot straight into the path of Gakpo. Simple finish. That's the 3 points wrapped up for Liverpool. 3-0 they lead Ipswich here.
Ross County 0, Hibs 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Exeter 0, Blackpool 2, and yet another goal at West Brom. Pat Murphy.
4-0, Diangana. He laid on the third for Wallace, a brilliant goal. This time a deep cross. He looks suspiciously offside. Portsmouth back four stood there waiting for the whistle. Diangana scored the fourth. 4-0, and we're still in the first half.
Well, we've got 7 minutes of added on time here at Molineux, and it remains 0-0. And VAR must be happy with the decision from Michael Oliver, because play is back underway and Lewis Skelly is down the tunnel in the dressing room. But he looked and I've got every sympathy for him.
As a player, I mean, look, it's very, very cynical. He knows what he's doing.
Yes.
He's deliberately taking the player out of the play. Now, the referee, he's probably going to say, yeah, it was violent conduct, deliberate violent conduct. And, you know, there's a level of sympathy, because I don't know a player that thinks that should be a sending off. But the referees might tell us some way by the rules that should be a sending off. As you can see, I am aghast.
Well, I think you'll have Mikel Arteta certainly in your corner. I mean, the other issue it could be sent off is for serious foul play, but I don't think it necessarily constitutes serious foul play either, as the cross from the right-hand side is caught. It wasn't the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. How can it be when he's midway through the Wolves half?
Yeah, right, so it can't be that. You've knocked out one. Violent conduct, that's a real push. You see worse tackles than that all the time. It's a trip, and it's a cynical trip. It's a definite yellow card. But more than that, it's utterly shocked me. But, you know, they may be recoding the rules, and as they do regularly, as we all know. But that has amazed me.
Well, if that is either for violent conduct or serious foul play, it's setting a very low bar for the rest of the season.
Staggeringly so. And the fact that the VAR have looked at it and think, yeah, fine, that's okay.
Well, we'll try and bring you the live reaction with Mikel Arteta into Sports Report, with the results and the reaction with Mark Chapman from 5 before our next commentary of Manchester City and Chelsea. We'll try and get some confirmation as well from the PGMOL for the reasons for that controversial sending off. Blackpool have got a third goal at Exeter, by the way. Exeter City 0, Blackpool 3 is a latest score. It remains 0-0. We're in stoppage time. It's 5 Live in the World Service, also available on the BBC Sounds app.
We're in 7 minutes of stoppage time here, and the Arsenal players and the Arsenal fans and the Arsenal manager are in shock now, because this could be a massive, massive moment in the league. I mean, yes, we know Forest are up there, and we know other teams can come, Man City are there, but the team most likely to catch Liverpool is, or indeed was, Arsenal. Yet they're down to 10 men and they're in real trouble.
And as it currently stands, the gap at the top of the table is 8 points between Arsenal and Liverpool. So down to 10. Wolves with Semedo. Back to João Gomez. Sends over the cross. It's a deep one. Martinelli, who's now playing almost as a right wing back, and Trossard as a left wing back, with Timber moving alongside Gabriel and Saliba. Agbadou will shoot. That was a wild effort. That was well off target. Goal kick. And Pat Nevin.
It's a really tricky one now, because all the questions have to be asked of Mikel Arteta. What's he going to do? Can he change it? I mean, the system that he has to play now, obviously you've got players that can go there, Partey can go back in that sort of area. You can change the system a little bit, and that can help a little bit. We watched Liverpool earlier in the season go down to 10 men and still play brilliantly. Was it against Fulham? I thought they were absolutely fantastic. They were the better team. But for Arsenal, who hadn't been brilliant up until then and were fading as the half went on, to be down to 10 men while they're tiring, huge amount to ask. But we shall see what happens after half time, because I suspect changes.
Match of the day tonight, incidentally, BBC One at 10:30. You'll have an opportunity to look at that sending off of Lewis Skelly. Cunha touches the ball down the left touchline. Hwang with pace is onto it, but that pace and his heavy touch of his right boot just took it away from Gabriel, but then meant that he was unable to keep it in play. And as they attack that stand-colour stand away towards our left, Wolverhampton Wanderers then give away the ball and it runs out of play for a goal kick.
What was slightly ironic is 5 minutes before that sending off, the entire Wolves support were singing "You're not fit to referee" at the referee. Do you think they think he's fit to referee now?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Pat. Raya to take it. Yeah, I don't think Michael Oliver will be getting the same amount of grief as he was prior to that decision. 0-0 still, João Gomez. Not as many groans there as there would have been for a free kick as Timber knocked to the floor. Cunha wasn't retreating. He was looking at Saliba, didn't drive the ball at his shins, because that would have been a yellow card.
Do you know when something like that happens and it looks like a straight red card, you're thinking, have we missed something? Because remember, we thought that Lewis Kelly could have had a yellow card earlier on for wasting time. Did we miss a first yellow there? I don't think we did.
I think he just brought out a straight red.
Yes, that's what I thought. I absolutely thought that. But we will get that checked.
Here is João Gomez. Going to take a free kick for Wolverhampton Wanderers. We're in the 5th minute of the 7 to be added on, and it remains 0-0. Going around the grounds with Mark Chapman on 5 Live at half-time. If you're listening into Sports World, Lee James will pick up the reins during the break as Hwang for Bueno in the centre circle. Out then to Cunha, who waits midway through the Arsenal half. There's almost a silence, probably for the first time inside Molineux this afternoon. Doherty plays it to Semedo. Semedo just starts to drift a little bit in field off that right touchline. Andre and João Gomez get a little touch as well in the midfield. Agbadou is forward. The Premier League Match Centre have confirmed he was sent off for serious foul play.
Wow, that is a bar so low that a limbo dancing snake couldn't get under it.
Shot from Cunha, edge of the area blocked. I agree with the way that you called it. It just looked like a cynical trip.
Yeah.
And you see them quite a lot.
All the time. Do you know what? There's a certain Manchester City centre midfield player, if that was a sent-off, he'd probably have 20 in his career so far.
Now, Aït-Nouri had a little kick out there at Timber. Arsenal continue to go forward. This is Martinelli. Martinelli looks towards Havertz. Agbadou gets a foot into the challenge. Flag is up on this near side.
Yeah, it was offside.
And there's the half-time whistle. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. And Arsenal down to 10 men with that controversial decision, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, I mean, it's lots of things happened in that first half. Good chances for both sides. The better ones were for Arsenal. They could have been arguably 2 up, particularly one from Havertz and a second one from Havertz as well, where gets a header on target, the keeper makes a half-decent save. However, it's all been overshadowed by a decision by the referee, and it's serious foul play. It is a trip, it is cynical, it is deliberate, but it's not in a dangerous area, and it doesn't look to me. I mean, I'll go back to that sort of trip and that sort of hit. The amount of players that would spend their time suspended is incredible. If every time that happens it was a sending off, particularly in that area of the park. I'm staggered by that.
The leaders Liverpool are 3 goals to the good. The chasing pack in Nottingham Forest and Arsenal are not taking advantage, and Arsenal have been hindered with that sending off of Miles Lewis-Skelly. It is at half-time here at Molineux. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0.
That is one of the most baffling red cards I think I've ever seen. And supposedly from our best referee, and I know they will spin their rules whichever way they want to make sure they try and protect themselves, but that is nonsensical.
See, these times when you see something like that happening, you go, right, okay, referee, maybe your angle was wrong, maybe you thought it was a straight leg challenge. It's okay, we'll get this. This is why we got VAR.
Yeah.
And very specifically for things like this that look a bit stupid when you look at them in slow motion or quick motion or any motion afterwards. But they've looked at it and they've not changed it. Now, I know that they change it all the way through the season, the different bars for penalties, etc. But come on, Who thinks? I mean, honestly, you're in the office there, I'm sure. Does anyone around you think that was a penalty kick?
I haven't seen anybody say I texted Shearer in the match of the day office. Definitely not. I can't repeat anything else he said on those messages. But it's
baffling.
It's look. It's, as you say, it's a cynical trip, but it's a cynical trip, sort of on the edge of the Wolves, but it's not even in the Arsenal half.
Nowhere near it. And there are 3 players between him and the goal. So it's not a goal-scoring opportunity.
No, they're going with serious foul play.
Yeah, because there was no way you could call it violent conduct. So they found the only other one possible. And even that, I don't think is possible. I think it's an awful decision. And I'm looking at watching the players just now. See, since that, nobody's tackling anyone. No one's getting near anyone because they know that the rod that he's given for his own back now is ridiculous. He's going to have to book everyone for every tiny little tap from here on in. It's a bizarre and stunning moment.
We've just had a word with Mark Scott, who's been doing the commentary for Match of the Day, and they get the opportunity to listen to the VAR conversation. We don't have that privilege working for 5 Live. And supposedly because it was above the ankle, that's why they've given it for serious foul play.
What? Well, they might. Well, they must have seen something we haven't seen.
Okay, yeah, but it's not. But it is. But it's a trip. It's not a stud.
I know.
Sorry, I know you're only the messenger.
I'm only as flabbergasted as you.
By the way, I've seen various challenges over the last month that have been above the ankle, and that haven't been a red card. Yeah, so what on earth are they talking about?
Do you know what that sounds like? And it's a horrible thing. Footballers are people who have played football, not even professional, but played football to a decent level at all. They know the difference. They all understand that. Most football fans understand that. And there's now in a game where referees, you think, have you played at all? Do you get it? Because by a rule that says if it's a tackle slightly above the ankle, yeah, but it's a tip in the ankle.
Yeah, but that's not having even played pub football.
We've just watched it in slow motion again in front of us. Get lost. I'm not having it. I'm not having it at all. Above the ankle, he's tapped him. It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's. I was trying to give him a chance before. We were saying was like baffling, etc. before. Let's go for another word. Wrong.
Let's go around all the other games then, otherwise we're not going to have much of half-time left. A start at Anfield, comfortable for the league leaders, Mas Faruqi.
Yeah, Liverpool with a 3-goal lead at half-time. That's the win already wrapped up, you think, for the league leaders. The goals from Szoboszlai, Salah and then Gakpo, but the big moment of the half is what looked to have been a worrying injury for Ipswich's Wes Burns. At 1-0, he looked to injure his knee, stretching for the ball in a challenge. Don't want to speak out of turn before we know the facts, but it doesn't look good. He immediately called for medical attention, was clearly in pain before he was stretched off, and understandably that lengthy stoppage affected the rhythm of Ipswich's game in particular, and given what happened to them against Manchester City last weekend, you hope it's not another long 45 minutes ahead for Kieran McKenna's side, who trail here 3-0 at Anfield.
So the team in first are winning, the team in second are drawing, the team in third are losing. Alistair Bruce-Ball.
That is Nottingham Forest losing at Bournemouth. Justin Kluivert on the score sheet again. He's certainly their sharpshooter at the moment, which makes you wonder why Nottingham Forest backed off him. He ran with the ball at his feet from the halfway line, just unhindered until he got to the edge of the box, looked up, saw the opportunity was there and arrowed a shot into the bottom corner. That gave Bournemouth the lead. Matt Sells since then has saved well from Christie and Semenyo. Nottingham Forest in the game as well. The only save Kepa's had to make, though, a dipping Ryan Yates shot, which he pushed around the post. Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Let's find out if John Southall's enjoying himself.
Well, not massively for the opening 35 minutes, I have to say, but if ever a game needed a goal, it was this one, and we finally got it. Brighton 0, Everton 1. The officials booed off at half-time. It's followed the perfect script, really, this for Everton and David Moyes. Frustrated Brighton, defended well, then scored the penalty. The controversial moment, Pickford with the long clearance. Joel Veltman and Beto contested it. Veltman handled as he went down. Brighton were livid. The penalty was given. They thought he was fouled. Tim Robinson went to the monitor. He did handball it. He gave the decision. Njai scored the penalty. That was the only shot on target in the half. It has not been pretty, David Moyes won't care. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
Newcastle have turned it round at the break. Lee Blakeman.
It's been a great half here. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. Southampton ahead after 10 minutes thanks to a great header from Jan Bednarek. Newcastle level 20 minutes later. Isak brought down in the area. VAR eventually gave him a penalty which he went on to score. Then it was Isak again who put Newcastle ahead just after that. Side foot finish, across goal, bottom corner. He was denied a hat-trick by a good save from Alex McCarthy. Elsewhere, Joel Linton has hit the post. Great game. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2.
Earlier in the Championship, Luton 0, Millwall 1, Norwich 5, Swansea 1, Stoke 0, Oxford 0. We'll start at our half-times at the Stadium of Light, where the home side have not had it all their own way, I don't think. Chris Coles.
They haven't. Plymouth will be delighted to get in at 0-0, considering they were 5-0 down at this stage of their last match, and they haven't really had to repel a Sunderland barrage. They've dominated the ball, the home side, but struggling to create. Their best chances, a Dan Neil crisp volley from range and a Dennis Serkin header, both comfortably saved by Connor Hazard. Sunderland 0, Plymouth 0.
The good news for Sunderland, for many reasons I would have thought, is that Middlesbrough are losing. Mike Miney.
By a goal to nil. Stefan Tadarson's curling effort into the far corner, the difference. Middlesbrough frustrated, really. They've had arguably the bigger and better chances, but they're missing their star man, Emmanuel Latte-Laff. He went off injured after just 10 minutes in, limped off, and since then they've kind of missed his lethal finishing and his presence in the box. Preston at the minute heading for a 5th successive home win over Middlesbrough. They lead by a goal to nil.
Well, as managerial returns go, Pat Murphy,
it's not bad. Fans of a certain vintage of West Brom will be burbling about the Mowbray era 15 years ago. Well, how about this? They're 4-0 up at half-time, aided, it must be said, by the Portsmouth keeper Nicholas Schmidt, who gave them the first 2 goals, one to Mowat and then one to Dean Garner. But then a classic counter-attack, the best kind of Mowbray counter-attack, led to Wallace getting the third, and then Dean Garner, alone and palely loitering, beat the offside trap, making it 4-0 with plenty more to come, I reckon. West Brom 4, Portsmouth 0.
All square at Ashton Gate. Molly Stevens.
Bristol City 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. The home side broke the deadlock first. A stunning Scott Twine free kick just outside of the area, right-footed and point perfect, curling past the left side of the keeper. Then just before half-time, Andy Weimann with the equaliser for Rovers against his old club. A header from close range he couldn't miss. The sides are on the field, ready for the second half. It's 1-1.
Difficult first 45 for Tom Cleverley and Watford. Naz Premji.
Yes, Coventry City 1, Watford 0. The home side have dominated, deservedly ahead. Jack Rodoni, who's been superb so far. His cross from the right found Victor Torp in between 2 Watford centre-halves, 6 yards out. He couldn't miss. Watford poor, but did spark into life towards the end of the period. Tom Deli-Bashiru and Rocco Vada gave Oliver Dovin in the home goal something to do. At the break, Coventry City 1, Watford 0.
2 other games in the Championship. Derby, who've lost their last 5, a goalless at Cardiff, and it's also goalless at QPR, where Sheffield Wednesday are their visitors. Earlier in League One, Cambridge 3, Mansfield 2 and Huddersfield 0, Bolton 1. We're with Wycombe this afternoon, who are at home to Northampton. Mark Webber.
Where it's Wycombe 0, Northampton 0, a game where Wycombe were down to dominate. Is a draw so far. In fact, it's been relegation flirting Northampton, who've had the ball in the back of the net. Aaron McGowan's header disallowed as he fouled the Wycombe keeper. That inspired them a little bit, but there was a Wycombe chance later on. The best probably one for Joe Lowe, inches out the area, forcing a point-blank save. The second half has started. Wycombe 0, Northampton 0.
Elsewhere in League One, Barnsley 0, Stevenage 0. Burton, who got their first win in 9 at Wigan on Tuesday night, have had another good first half here. They lead Rotherham by 3-1. It's goals between Charlton and Shrewsbury. Blackpool are 3-0 up at Exeter. CJ Hamilton getting one of those goals, 5 for him for the season. Leyton Orient, who are unbeaten in 9, lead at the break at home to Reading by 1-0. Lincoln 2, Peterborough 0. Stockport 2, Crawley 0. Wigan lead Bristol Rovers by 1-0. James Carragher with the goal for Wigan. League 2 earlier, Bradford beat the leaders Walsall 3-0. Goalless between MK Dons and AFC Wimbledon. We're at Gresty Road for Crewe against Accrington. Nikesh Ragani.
Yep, second half just underway. It's Crewe 0, Accrington Stanley 1. Hasn't gone to the script so far for the home side. Accrington dominating the first half. Their goal was a thing of beauty. A 25-yard lob from the boot of Sean Whalley, who also had a couple of other chances. Crewe offering very little going forward so far until right at the end of the first half when they forced the keeper into a couple of saves. But once again at the beginning of this half, it's Accrington on the front foot. It remains Crewe 0, Accrington Stanley 1.
Barrow 1, Grimsby 0, Cheltenham 1, Salford 0, Chesterfield 0, Port Vale 1. Jayden Stockley got the goal there, 6 for the season for him. Colchester 0, 10-man Morecambe 0, Doncaster 0, Harrogate 0. Carlisle, bottom of the table, lost 4 of their last 5, are winning at the break. They're a goal up at Fleetwood. Goalless between Notts County and Bromley, and it's Tranmere 1, Gillingham 1. In the National League, AFC Fylde 0, Wealdstone 0, Aldershot 0, Tamworth 0, Altrincham 1, Forest Green 0, Barnet 1, Maidenhead 0, Boston 1, York 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Southend 1, Ebbsfleet 0, Braintree 1, Gateshead 0, Oldham 1. Goalless between Hartlepool and Woking, who are down to 10, Rochdale 0, Yeovil 0, Solihull Moors 0, Halifax 1, Sutton 0, Eastleigh 0. Into Scotland, in the Scottish Premiership, Hearts lead Kilmarnock at the break. Ailey Barber.
Yeah, and they do so thanks to an early strike from Elton Kabangu, the Belgian scoring his 3rd goal in 3 games since arriving at Hearts, and it was a very simple finish, the ball falling at his feet with the goal gaping. Hearts have been the better team. James Wilson's had a couple of opportunities. Jamie McCart saw his header into the bottom corner disallowed for offside, and as things stand, Hearts are out of the playoff place and up to 9th, but with just 1 goal in it, that could all change. At the break, Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 2, Ross County 0, Hibs 1, St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 1. In the Premiership. In the Championship, Adrionians 2, Dunfermline 0, Ayr 2, Partick 0, Livingston 2, Hamilton 0, Queen's Park 1, Morton 0, Wraith 0, Falkirk 1. In League 1, Alloa 1, Inverness 1, Queen of the South 1, Dumbarton 1, Stenhousemuir 0, Cove Rangers 3, Annan 0, Montrose 0. In League 2, Clyde 0, Elgin 0, East Fife 0, Edinburgh 0, Forfar 0, Stranraer 0, Spartans 0, Peterhead 0, Stirling the Bonnyrigg Rose 3-0. Half-time in the Gallagher Premiership, Gloucester 17, Leicester 21. 4:05. Here's Stuart and the news.
The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Israel has freed 200 Palestinian prisoners in exchange for the release of 4 female hostages held by Hamas. The Red Cross says the exchange successfully completes the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire release deal. In the last few minutes, we've had a statement from the White House which says today the world celebrates as President Trump secured the release of 4 more Israeli hostages. Goes on to say the US will continue to push for the release of all remaining hostages and the pursuit of peace throughout the region. Hundreds of thousands of homes are still without power across parts of the UK and Ireland as the clean-up from Storm Éowyn begins. Met Office says the storm was probably the strongest to hit the UK for more than a decade. And WH Smith is in talks to sell its high street business. The retailer has around 500 stores on UK high streets. Profits from these sites have fallen considerably in recent years. The company says it now intends to focus on its shops at airports and railway stations.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Let's go back to Dan Norcross because England are making a real go of this in the second men's T20.
They really are. India set just 166, which we felt was about 20 runs below par, but they're 78 for 5 after 9.2 overs, and it's been the scintillating pace of Archer and Wood, especially getting the ball over 90 miles an hour regularly. Bryden Cars has chipped in with a couple of wickets, and Jamie Overton got a wicket with his first ball. So where India used spin, England have used pace. The game is very much in the balance. They're 78 for 5, needing 88 from 64 balls.
Burton have got a 4th at home to Rotherham. Burton 4, Rotherham 1. Let's go back to Molineux. They've just kicked off. I spent part of half-time trying to trip myself up and thinking, if you're going to trip someone up, more often than not, it is around the ankle.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it?
It is. I was thinking exactly that when
Well, that's slightly worrying for both of us, isn't it?
What, that we think alike?
Yes.
At least we have the same choice of friends. We're back underway. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. And Arsenal have made a change after Lewis Skelly was sent off. Calafiore has, in the first half, Calafiore has come on to replace Wanyeri. So that's how they're going to change. So Calafiore will go at left back. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiore, Partey, Rice, Trossard, Havertz and Martinelli now for the 10 men. Red and white shirts. white shorts, playing from right to left as we look, against Wolves in their golden shirts and the black shorts of Sarr in goal. Back three of Doherty, Bueno, Agbadou, Semedo and Aït-Nouri, Gomez, Andre, Sarabia, Cunha and Hwang, who came on as a first half substitute for Strand Larsen. BBC Radio 5 Live. The World Service in the BBC Sounds app. Martinelli has just been felled. And there was a Wolves player who kicked the ball away.
Yeah,
I do think that Michael Oliver now has created a problem for himself.
Yeah, the old rod for his own back. Completely. It was just seconds into the second half. Martinelli, it's not a bad kick there, but he's rolled over, he's gone down, he said it should be a yellow card, and everyone's going to happen with this. Now, the big important thing is, the way Arsenal are going to play now, it'll be like a 4-4-1. Slightly adapted, but a 4-4-1. The big thing for them is they must do something from the set pieces, and they've got one now.
Rice to take it midway through the Wolves half, playing from right to left, just in from the right touch line, in front of that travelling support, arcs its way in, headed up in the air by João Gomez, and Semedo will run it clear of the Wolves penalty area. In the rugby, Gloucester-Leicester, James Burridge.
And Leicester have their fourth try already. Harry Wells, 5 minutes into the second half, just after Adam Radwan had scored his debut try for Leicester just before half-time. 28-17, Leicester lead.
Goal at Southampton, Lee Blakeman.
Another one for Newcastle, they lead 3-1. Gordon with the through ball, Tonali on the end of it, side foot finish, bottom corner, Southampton 1, Newcastle 3.
Well, for a team bottom of the table and 10 points adrift even before today, a 6th straight defeat and 13 Premier League games without a win. That looks like another nail in the coffin for Southampton. For Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are down there, they've got the opportunity now against the 10 men of Arsenal to get 3 precious points, but they've given away a free kick there. That was Cunha. Every decision is now going to be questioned.
Absolutely, and they're wanting yellow cards and red cards for everything. Look, the referee's had a look at what's happened at half-time, hasn't he? There is no doubt about that. To be honest, I'm looking at, we've got another replay here. I was looking at it first time and thought, that looks as if it could be a yellow card. I've looked at it again. It's not. It's just a coming together again. But the referee is now under gigantic pressure with every single decision and every single foul.
Timber plays the ball out to Martinelli, far side the right, skips away from the challenge of Aït-Nouri, goes past another challenge. Aït-Nouri though recovers, slides in behind it, goes for a corner. Martinelli did well.
Yeah, good start though for Arsenal in this second half. You're down to 10 men, you've got to show your personality now. As for Wolves, look, you've got an extra man, you're at home, everything's in your favour. Do not lose this, and apart from anything else, if you'd be trying to win this, you should expect to win this. But another corner kick, Arsenal only got one in the first half.
Wolves have been vulnerable at crosses. We know the threat that Arsenal pose with corner kicks and at set pieces. As Timber, Martinelli, Partey and Havertz all lurk at the far post. Gabriel is inside the 6-yard area. He's the only Arsenal player being marshalled by about 5 gold shirts as Trossard kills it in, doesn't beat the first man. Headed out by Hwang at the near post. Rice will keep it in play on that far side. Back it goes to Saliba, right of the centre circle. Another goal, it's in the Championship. Mike Mane at Deepdale.
And Middlesbrough are level. Brilliant individual goal from Bergzorg on the right-hand side, turned into the penalty area, sat one defender down, rolled it past the goalkeeper and then slid it home himself. Fantastic finish. Preston 1, Middlesbrough 1.
To Arsenal's credit, the way they've started the second half, you wouldn't know they're playing with 10 men.
No, you wouldn't, and Timber's got a chance there in the back post. Rice puts the ball in from the right-hand side in open play. He should have done a little bit better, Timber. He puts it across the box instead of going for goal. But they have, as you say, started very well. They're the better team. It's whether they are going to be strong enough and fair enough to keep it going.
Wales has scored in Scotland. Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 1 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Killy with the equaliser at Tynecastle in that game down at the bottom of the table. Calafiore waits to take a throw. BBC Radio 5 Live will level the penalty area on this near side the left in front of the main stand. The Billy Wright stand here at Molineux. As Trossard down by the corner flag. Semedo has his arm around his neck as Trossard falls to the floor, and it runs out of play for an Arsenal throw. Arsenal, though, still looking to try and maintain the pressure. Calafiore, the substitute, gets it back from Rice, level the area, plays the ball back in field to Partey. Partey gets away from Sarabia, back out to the left touch line. Rice shifts it back towards Calafiore, gives it back to the England international, able to run forward. Partey still on this left-hand side, very, very congested. Little flick by Trossard. Partey goes into the ball, and it will be an Arsenal throw. The Wolves supporters contest that decision as well.
It's actually, if you were a supporter, you wouldn't be laughing at it, but actually it's quite ridiculous and quite funny now. Cannot make one decision now, the referee, but everybody disagrees with him on everything.
Lincoln City 3, Peterborough United 0 is the latest score in League One. We're going to Bournemouth, where there's been a goal in a moment. Gabriel, though, on this near side, pushed over. In fact, we'll go there now. Alistair Lewis ball.
Second goal for Bournemouth. Dango Ouattara rising at the far post to head home Justin Kluivert's cross. Kirkes searching ball down the left, found Kluivert, little trick from him, stood the cross up. Ouattara did the rest. Bournemouth 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Going into the top 6 of Bournemouth, looking to go 12 unbeaten. And in fact, they'd only move within 4 points of third place Nottingham Forest, who will see that unbeaten run come to an end of 9 games. As this free kick for Arsenal, Mikel Arteta applauds above his head, watching on. Rice to take it near side the left, right-footed, in-swinger, drops over everybody's head and out for a goal kick. Update at Brighton, John Southall.
Brighton 0, Everton 1. Better from Brighton in the second half. Matoma cut in from the left-hand side, curling shot fraction wide of the right post. Gruder's off, Rutez on. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
We'll try and bring you the live reaction with all the results and sports report with Mark Chapman at 5 before our next commentary, Manchester City Chelsea at 5:30. This is 5 Live. It's 0-0. It's tense.
Yeah, once again, really decent ball in there. The corner kicks have been poor, very, very poor from Arsenal. However, those free kicks from the wide midfield areas, much, much better. They've gotten a lot closer now.
This is Martinelli, forward ball. Rice takes it on. Rice strides into the penalty area and shoots right-footed and turned behind with both hands by Sarr as we go to the Hawthorns and another goal, Pat Murphy.
5th goal for West Brom from Swift. Great work from Johnson on the plate, left foot deflection. West Brom 5, Portsmouth 0.
Strong wrist from Sarr, Pat.
Absolutely brilliant there from Declan Rice. You wonder if he can keep this up. He's doing the work of 2 or even maybe 3 players just now. The Arsenal fans are making a real noise. They know how important this is, but how long can they keep this going? If Arsenal could get a goal in the next 5 or 10 minutes, then defend it, that might be their best hope.
Notts County 1, Bromley 0. Barrow 2, Grimsby 0. Latest scores in League 2. Arsenal have a corner, far side the right. Trossard to take it. Trossard again doesn't beat the first man. Headed out by Hwang once more. That's twice now.
Well, that's twice now, but also in the first half, Declan Rice had one, which was awful as well. We're just not used to seeing that sort of delivery from corner kicks from Arsenal.
Here is Timber midway through the Wolves half, out towards Trossard, infield. Wolverhampton Wanderers just can't get hold of the ball. They will now. Martinelli's overrun it. Out it goes for a throw. Update from Anfield. Maz Farouki. No, there's been another goal. It's at Bournemouth. Alistair Bruce ball.
Bournemouth absolutely relentless here. 3-0 up on Nottingham Forest, and this goal the best of the lot. Justin Kluivert scored another, but the interplay leading up to it and the last little 1-2 before Kluivert found the bottom corner was absolutely sensational. Bournemouth 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
Next Saturday we will be there live. BBC Radio 5 Live for the 3 o'clock commentary as Bournemouth tackle the leaders Liverpool, but Bournemouth going from strength to strength, leading by 3 goals to 0. It remains 0-0 here. The ball goes back towards Sarr. Where will we go next then on 5 Live? It's Liverpool, Maz Farouki.
It is all one-way traffic here. Ipswich back, trying to defend their area. Liverpool on top, so much possession. 55 minutes played here now. Liverpool 3, Ipswich 0.
10 minutes into the second half, still goalless. A goal at Sunderland, Chris Coles.
How about this? Bottom of the table, Plymouth in front at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Plymouth 1. Ryan Hardy at the back post, just about crept over the line. Sunderland 0, Plymouth 1.
No away win either in the Championship before today. They've drawn 3 and lost 11. But bottom of the table, Plymouth against a Sunderland team who's only suffered 1 defeat in their last 10. Doherty to Sarabia, just over the halfway line. Ball lifted forward, Semedo's after it. Calafiore will try and get there. Calafiore put both the hands on the back of Semedo. He didn't go to ground, and actually Calafiore was strong defending to Trossard, who did go to ground and gets Arsenal a free kick. Pat Nevin.
Do you know what? He gets himself in front there, but he's looking for the free kick. He gets a free kick. It is a free kick, but everything, as I say, that they do, they're going to be booing the referee. Just noticeable there that Wolves are trying to pass it a little bit, get a little bit of control in the game. They need to do that, because so far they've hardly had a kick in the second half, Wolves.
Back to Alistair Bruce ball.
Bournemouth's sensational third goal ruled out. Dango Wataru, who played the 1-2 with Kluivert, was in an offside position. Just seen the replay again. Such a shame. Kluivert's feet dribbling to set up the 1-2. Beautiful stuff. But it's Bournemouth 2, Forest 0. Goal ruled out for offside.
2-0 at Bournemouth, Brighton 0, Everton 1, Liverpool lead Ipswich 3-0. Newcastle have come from behind, they lead by 3-1. Isak has got 2 of them. It remains 0-0 here. Commentary from the Etihad at 5:30. Manchester City against Chelsea in the company of John Murray and Michael Brown. Wolverhampton Wanderers get a throw over on the far side.
Great energy though from those Arsenal players. Timber flying up there, he's right back, these have to be right wing sometimes. Declan playing about every position in the park at various points in time, and even when they attack from corner kicks, and Saliba and Gabriel, they don't always go back right away, they want to stay up in case there's another cross in there. They know that 3 points is necessary, Arsenal, today. 1 is not enough.
At the minute it could be advantage Liverpool at the top of the table. Here is Doherty. Arsenal being held, Nottingham Forest behind. Liverpool lead by 3-0. Peterborough have got a goal back. Lincoln City 3, Peterborough 1. This is Bueno inside the penalty area. His forward ball. Calafiore wraps his leg around Semedo, touches it towards Trossard. Calafiore has stayed in the attack on this near side, the left, almost level with the penalty area. Calafiore rolls it out towards Trossard, just in from the touchline. Semedo watches the ball intently. Trossard tries to edge his way towards the byline, plays it back towards Gabriel. Arsenal playing well despite being to 10 men. Partey looks for a shot, out towards Trossard. Trossard with the cross. Agbadou will head it away inside that penalty area. Calafiore's header then goes towards Trossard. Trossard is fouled. Referee says no free kick. Wolves unable to bring the ball away. Turnover though. Sarabia caught by Gabriel of all people on this left touchline. Arsenal still looking to try and find a way through. Calafiore to the edge of the area. Wolves have got everybody back. This is Declan Rice with the cross. Sarr opts to punch the ball clear. Might fall towards Timber 30 yards out. Timber heads it towards Martinelli. Martinelli will go the long way around and it goes out of play for a throw. Another goal at Bournemouth, Alistair Bruce ball.
Bournemouth not to be denied, they've got a third. I'm sure this one's not going to be ruled out. Forest gave the ball away on the halfway line. Tyler Adams' pass released Dango Ouattara. He went running down the inside left channel and fired it into the bottom corner. Bournemouth 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
Hearts 2, Kilmarnock 1, and Plymouth's joy didn't last for long on Wearside. Chris Coles.
A mere 2 minutes. Sunderland level. Wilson Isidore, beautifully controlled volley, found well on the right. Isidore into the corner. Sunderland 1, Plymouth 1.
Wolves are attacking. Sarabia, left-hand side, drills over the cross, outstretched leg. Gabriel with the clearance, edge of the area. Havertz will try and get there. Doherty jumps into the challenge, wins the ball and brings it forward. He's midway through the Arsenal half. He'll leave it now towards Hwang on this near side. He comes away from Havertz. He runs infield, but at a gentle pace, back towards João Gomez. This now is Cunha, 30 yards out, tries to thread it through. Stopped by Hwang. Hwang with a shooting opportunity. Raya with a save low down to Tynecastle and Ailey Barber.
Come on, he got themselves level. 19-year-old Bobby Wales, his first time finish, but Hearts are back in front. Jamie McCart had one ruled out in the first half. This one stands. It is Hearts 2, Kilmarnock 1.
Burton Albion 4, Rotherham United 2 is the latest score in League One. Pat Nevin.
Really impressed by Arsenal so far in this second half. The attitude has been brilliant. Every player up for it, every player giving everything. But you just don't know how long they can keep it going for. It's controlled by Wolves. They're having to defend well. You just get the feeling it's going to open up for them at some point in time.
Their last win against Arsenal was 4 years ago, February 2021, by 2-1 on a day where Arsenal actually had 2 players sent off. They finished the game with 9 men. Today they just had the 1 red card. As Sarabia forward, Semedo with the cross, right hand side. Sarabia left-footed, opened up his left boot, and as a result it was always going away from goal, out for a goal kick.
It would have been a hard one to get, but those sort of chances are actually going to start for Wolves now, because Arsenal keep on pummeling forward. The players are noticeably getting tired, and if you look at that bench, there's not a lot in the bench that Arsenal can go for that's got a lot of experience.
Champions League coverage on Wednesday night will be at the Etihad. Manchester City against Bruges on Sports Extra. John Murray might say the small matter of Aston Villa against Celtic. Today he's watching Chelsea against City at 5:30, and he has the team news.
Yes, and from the small matter to the big news here, and that is that Manchester City have 2 new signings straight into their starting lineup. Marmoush and Kuzanov are both in the City team. Gundogan also starts, with De Bruyne and Savinho back on the bench, Diaz injured, and their other signing so far, Vitor Reis, is also a City substitute. Chelsea also make 3 changes. Colwill and Fernandes are fit, back in the side. Sancho also starts against his former club. Neto, Adarabioyo, Dewsbury Hall are all on the bench.
Thank you, John. Michael Brown will be alongside John for commentary after Sports Report here on 5 Live.
I should underline that I didn't quite finish the last sentence. I said there's not a lot of experience from the Arsenal bench going forward. Not experienced defensively, but they don't need defenders, they need attackers.
Well, Nathan Butler Oyedeji is a 22-year-old forward who last night was actually playing 45 minutes for their under-21s in a victory against Nottingham Forest. I would imagine that when the news came through that Ødegaard missing through illness, he was hauled off and then he made his way up towards Wolverhampton. Cardiff against Derby County. Cardiff are leading. Cardiff 1, Derby County 0 is the latest score. That's in the Championship. Derby, who entered the relegation zone after Hull's victory at Bramall Lane last night. Derby have lost their last 5. Arsenal have a free kick. In it comes Havertz with a header just over the top. We'll go to Bristol City. Molly Stevens.
Oh, what a chance for the Bristol City substitute. Naki Wells chipped the ball over the Rovers keeper's head, only for Callum Britton to sprint ahead to clear it off the line. What a chance for the home side, but it remains Bristol City 1, Blackburn Rovers 1.
It's fast, it's frenetic. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. Hearts 3, Kilmarnock 1. To the rugby now, James Burridge.
And what a comeback from Gloucester, from 11 points down, 2 converted tries in 5 minutes. First Jack Clement, the second Chris Harris. Leicester stunned. Gloucester 31, Leicester 28.
Commentary for that is on Sports Extra. Sarabia picks the ball up on the halfway line on this near side, the right. Ahead of him is Semedo. Semedo does a couple of step overs, looks to go on the outside of Calafiore. Right corner of the area, left-footed ball in. Saliba heads it away at that heart of the Arsenal defence. Rice caught by Cunha. Cunha with a shot. Raya at full stretch. What a brilliant save. Diving away to his left, one-handed behind for a corner, 0-0.
And I think there's a fair chance it even had a deflection, which makes it even better. Superb save. They've broken really well, really quickly. Wills. Say just a few minutes ago, I thought they would start getting a few chances. They're beginning to come now. And I've just seen a replay, and there is a big deflection in that. So it makes a great save right in the corner from Raya.
It is, because it took a lot of the pace off the ball, and Raya was always moving to his left, and that's why he had to really extend. In comes the corner kick, it's an in-swinger, comes out, and ball fired wide by Cunha on the edge of the 6-yard box, right-footed, back across goal and wide of the right-hand post.
Well, those chances are coming thick and fast now. That's 3 in the last 5 minutes. You can see the tiredness. You look down at Mikel Arteta, he must want to make some sort of change, but I don't know if he can. He's trying to get his players to come further up. They made some effort at the start of the second half, but you can see the gaps opening up now. We've got a great game here. It's really difficult to see where this one's going to end.
It remains 0-0, but it's on a knife edge, as Pat Nevin quite rightly says. It could go either way. Here is João Gomes, midway through the Arsenal half. Arsenal, remember, are down to 10. Andre, forward. Cunha rolls it low. Semedo had to go a couple of yards behind it, then he sends over the cross. It's too deep as it arcs its way out towards that far side, the left. Aït-Nouri, though, will keep the ball in play. Martinelli is behind him, plays it back. Cunha hits another low ball in, swept clear by Saliba. Back to Tynecastle, Ailey Barber.
Where it looks like Hearts might have sewn this game up, but it's Hearts 3, Kilmarnock 1. George Grant nipping in, managing to get something on the ball before it fell into the hands of Kieran O'Hara, and it is Hearts who are heading off the second bottom of the table spot. They lead here, Hearts 3, Kilmarnock 1.
Havertz picks up the loose ball, gives it towards Martinelli. Aguadou comes across. It was always tricky for Arsenal to make inroads there when they didn't have the numbers. Colchester United lead Morecambe by a goal to 0 in League 2, and you're up to date. But Wolves at the minute are enjoying this spell in the second period.
Yeah, a couple of little breaks there from Arsenal, but Havertz does brilliantly. He's only got one player up supporting him, and because of that, we lose the ball, and they are now utterly gone in that midfield.
Sarabia collects it near side the right, left-footed cross, blocked by Trossard. It'll rebound back towards the halfway line where it's picked up by Semedo. Semedo will go towards Santiago Bueno inside the centre circle. Arsenal have got all 9 outfield players back behind the ball as Wolves spread from right to left, and now Aït-Nouri at a walking pace does 3 little step overs and rolls it in towards Hwang. Can't get it away from Timber, and it goes behind for a goal kick. We'll go to Anfield. That's Faruqi.
Second goal of the afternoon for Cody Gakpo. Ahead of this time, it's been all Liverpool in this second half, and now they lead Ipswich by 4-0.
And they lead Arsenal at the top by 8 points. They'll be 18 unbeaten in the Premier League.
It's extraordinary what Liverpool are doing just now. It's never easy, but boy, they sometimes make it look easy, don't they?
And they're scoring goals as well in the process. Cody Gakpo with a couple here today, as there's been a wicket in the cricket. Daniel Norcross.
There has. Washington Sundowns just been bowled by Cars for 26. This after he was dropped. An absolute sitter from Rashid on 10. He then proceeded to hit 14 off the next 3 balls to take India within sight of victory, you might say. But at 116 for 6, England are right back in it. India need 50 off 38 balls.
Since actually losing to Nottingham Forest in mid-September, Liverpool have scored at least 2 goals in all the games since then at Anfield. Here is Partey playing the ball then towards Trossard. Another goal at Tynecastle. Ailey.
Checking for possible offside, but if it stands, it will mean that Kilmarnock have pulled another one back. Maybe I spoke too soon. Fraser Murray with the finish. It is Hearts 3, Kilmarnock 2, pending that offside check.
Thank you, Ailey. 66 minutes played. 0-0 here at Molineux. This is Timber in a central area. Looking towards Rice, crowded out though, 30 yards out from goal. Cunha now has it for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Aït-Nouri going ahead of him on that far side, but Saliba will get there first. He was alive to the danger. Back to Raya. Raya passes the ball forward, Partey, and Arsenal should deal with this. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, the 2 centre-backs have to be brilliant, and they generally are. Saliba and Gabriel. What a day to get Saliba back.
Martinelli can't get past Agbadou with his strength. Would have been a good signing, the Ivory Coast international. Just over 16.5 million from Rance this month. The first signing for Vitor Pereira. As it's still Wolves 0, Arsenal 0, and we're midway through the second half.
Yeah, down on that right-hand side there, watching Martinelli trying to get back. He is out of it. He's not getting back by his full-back anytime, and it doesn't look like he's going to do that anytime soon. He must be considering Sterling.
Sorry, Pat. João Gomes forward. Queen's Park Rangers, who've won their last 4 in the Championship, have fallen behind. QPR 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1 is the latest score. Wigan 2, Bristol Rovers 0. Ball played out towards Doherty on this near side, the right, infield. Sarabia looks for Semedo. Trossard, though, should get there first, and he'll run it out of play. In fact, he didn't, but there was a foul. Semedo put his hands on Trossard, and it will go for a free kick to Arsenal as it remains goalless. And we will get an update in the rugby where there's been a try. James Burridge.
21 unanswered points from Gloucester. A third try, this time Seb Blake crashing over, converted by Carreras, and Leicester have had a player sent off for 10 minutes. Parisi for a high shot. 38-28, and Gloucester on fire.
No shortage of talking points from this game alone for 6:06 at 7:30 after commentary of Manchester City Chelsea. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage taking your calls. 08085 909 693. 68 minutes played and it remains goalless. This is Bueno coming forward. Another goal at Sunderland, Chris Coles.
From 1-0 down, Sunderland now lead by 2-1. Trey Hume, great finish, just inside the area, came to him quickly, right foot shot into the corner. Sunderland 2, Plymouth 1.
Ball scooped forward by Cunha, held and repelled by the Arsenal defence. Rice is coming forward now, and they're down to 10. João Gomes has been sent off. It's a second yellow card. Arsenal were down to 10 in the first half. Vitor Pereira is furious. He is apoplectic because João Gomes has been dismissed. He was sent off a year ago against Brentford in the FA Cup, and he's just received his marching orders again.
And people will think that's just, I'm evening it up beforehand, but it must have been in the book before because that was a second yellow, then a red. He's dived into that there. There's actually no need to do it there. Ooh. Stood on the foot, we see this a lot. It's not utterly vicious. He's went for the ball, he's ended up stepping in the defender's foot. It's 10 against 10, and we have another twist.
Well, he's being applauded, but I'm not too sure that Vitor Pereira would welcome that, because he was absolutely livid, and João Gomes has evened things up now, which, as you say, with 20 minutes remaining, makes life very interesting.
Well, it's stunning though, because so many Wolves players before that were jumping out of tackles. I said to Chappers at half-time, the amount of players that aren't making tackles just now is stunning. Well, he just tried to make one there, and he's getting sent off for it. Look, can he argue with it? It's a yellow card he's on before. That's often a yellow card that is given for that. And 10 against 10, what a lift for those Arsenal fans. And what a disappointment for Wolves. They had it in their hands there.
And because it's a second yellow, it can't be contested by VAR.
It wouldn't be anyway.
No, but his first was shown after 36 minutes, and now with 21 minutes remaining for that challenge on Timber, he is off. We will get a update from Coventry, Naz Premji.
Coventry City 2, Watford 0. Victor Torp, free kick 25 yards out, up over the wall and in. Coventry City 2, Watford 0.
Cardiff 2, Derby 1. Chesterfield have equalised at home to Port Vale in League 2. Play back underway here at Molineux. It remains 0-0. Just under 20 minutes remaining. Semedo with a foul on Trossard. Goal at Ashton Gate. Molly Stevens.
Nahki Wells, the substitute for Bristol City, has come on and saved them. 2-1 Bristol City from the left-hand side, just outside of the area, into the net. Absolutely stunning piece of work by Nahki Wells. Bristol City 2, Blackburn Rovers 1.
Arsenal take the free kick. Trossard in field to Calafiori. Rice now will send over the cross, but it drifts behind for a... Oh, it took a deflection. Michael Oliver has said, to everybody's surprise, the supporters, the Wolves players, and indeed Pat Nevin, it's a corner.
I mean, he's much closer than me. I didn't see anyone close to that there. I'm not sure. We're trying to see a replay of it. To be honest, a wee bit disappointed with the referee, because somebody had a dig at him there, and he's given that kind of chat sign with his fingers, you know. It's kind of disrespectful. Don't think players like that.
So Rice to take the corner on this near side, the left, playing from right to left. Rice sends it in towards the far post, headed up by Agbadou. Calafiore goes for the header, bounces inside the penalty area, and Jose Sarr will get there. Bellegarde is going to be coming on for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
You know, beforehand, just before that second sending off there, it was more likely that Wolves are going to win this game. They were creating chances, the spaces were opening up, Arsenal were looking exhausted mentally and physically. It's changed now, hasn't it? If anyone's more likely to win it, it's slightly more Arsenal.
And you can hear the travelling support in good voice. They've packed out every segment on that bottom tier, on that stand on the far side, the Steve Bull stand. Bellegarde just getting his final instructions. Here is Partey, almost showed too much to Cunha, and as he tried to roll from Cunha, he had his legs taken away from him. And then Cunha here, again, he's got to be careful. Arsenal wanted to take that free kick quickly, but he got a hold of it and wouldn't give it back to the Arsenal players.
Slightly surprised. Last season before, yellow card right away for that.
Here is Partey, out towards Timber. Comes forward from that right-hand side. Rice ahead of him. Havertz also. Martinelli provides the width on that far side, the right. Martinelli gets it, the Brazilian. Cuts inside now. Left-footed ball. Havertz with a header. Flicked away by Semedo. Calafiore drives it in! And Arsenal all level. Calafiore with a sweet strike off his left boot. A huge goal for Arsenal as they look to try and keep the pressure on the leaders Liverpool. The Arsenal fans celebrate, as does the Arsenal bench. It's Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Arsenal 1.
Well, first and foremost, it's a brilliant finish. He's slightly behind him. He's going away for the goal. He has to catch it, I think, on the half volley. That's a very difficult skill, but he manages to do it absolutely perfectly. Right into the corner, drills it in there. And that's all down to the attitude that the players have had. Start of the second half, brilliant. It was beginning to wane, and suddenly, when it went to 10 against 10, they got the biggest lift imaginable.
Left-footed, in off the right-hand post, and it remains that Arsenal always score against Wolverhampton Wanderers. That club record of now 35 games where they found the back of the net, stretching 46 years, is maintained. And that unwanted record of Paul Bradshaw, the last Wolves keeper to keep a clean sheet, as Wolves make a change and Bellegarde is on, and it is Sarabia who goes off. And Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal bench celebrated as wildly as the supporters. Huge goal at both ends of the table. 15 minutes remain, and Calafiore coming back into the Arsenal side. with his second goal for the club. And it's a very important one. Timber and Vitor Pereira will just look back at that sending off of João Gomez when the pendulum swung back in Arsenal's favour.
You just have to be so careful when you're on a yellow card. And again, that was not the referee evening it up. That's a yellow card. He got that one spot on there. You don't go into challenges, especially it's up outside Arsenal's 18-yard line. It's not a desperate thing you have to do.
Here is Rice, forward of the centre circle, out towards Trossard, off the chest, holds away from Semedo, plays it back, and for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who've lost all 3 games at the start of 2025, could be heading to another defeat. Martinelli, right corner of the area, has some support from Timber behind him. His cross blocked by Cunha, keeps the ball in play, plays it forward. Bellegarde will roll it out towards that far side. Latest scores in the Scottish Premiership: Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 2, Hearts 3, Kilmarnock 2, Ross County 0, Hibs 1, and bottom of the table St Johnstone are still trailing at home to Motherwell by a 1-0. But it's Arsenal attacking far side, and they get a throw, urged on by that travelling support. Another goal at Preston, Mike Maine.
Preston now lead Middlesbrough by 2-1. An arrowed shot from the left of the penalty area into the bottom right by Emil Rees. That's 7 goals against Middlesbrough in his last 8 league games. Preston 2, Middlesbrough 1.
Excellent result for Graham Alexander's side today as they beat the leaders of League 2, Walsall, by 3-0. MK Dons 0, AFC Wimbledon 0 was a result from one of the other early games. These are the latest scores: Barrow 2, Grimsby 0, Cheltenham 2, Salford 0, Chesterfield 1, Port Vale 1, Port Vale down to 10, as are Morecambe as they trail at Colchester by 1-0. Second place Crewe are losing at home to Accrington by 1-0. Doncaster 0, Harrogate 0, Fleetwood 1, Carlisle 1, Notts County 1, Bromley 1, Tranmere 1, Gillingham 1. What's happening on that far side, Pat Neville?
Yes, Timber there was tackled. I think it might have been by Ignori, and he just followed through a little bit. To me, I think it should definitely have been not a yellow card, but a free kick. The referee hasn't given it, but he's allowed them time to get up.
Another goal in the Championship at Coventry. Naz Premji.
Coventry City 2, Watford 1. It was Sissoko's shot diverted in by Liam Kitchen. Game on. Coventry 2, Watford 1.
5 Live, BBC Sounds from the World Service, here with 12 minutes remaining of normal time, where Arsenal are leading by 1-0, and they needed to lead as well, with Liverpool leading Ipswich 4-0 at Anfield. As Timber over on that far side, back towards Rice, infield to Partey. Partey passes it, and a triangular passing pattern with Rice now holding off the challenge of Bellegarde, just in from the touchline on that right-hand side for Arsenal. Partey now has it. I'll give you the latest scores in League One in a moment, but first we'll go to Bournemouth. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Bournemouth leading Nottingham Forest 3-0. Nottingham Forest realising it's not going to be their day. Kepa's just made a flying save from an Alanga shot that was heading into the top corner. Bournemouth irresistible. First 15 minutes of the second half. Ouattara got 2. Kluivert had 1 disallowed for offside. They're moving within 4 points of Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth 3, Forest 0.
Ball over the top, headed away by Agbadou, picked up there by Havertz. Back it goes to Partey. Partey central position, plays it towards Rice, able to come onto this ball unchallenged, 30 yards out from goal. Passes the ball forward along the ground, back towards Timber. Arsenal now in full control, just over 10 minutes remaining. Timber shorten inside, Martinelli plays it back towards Rice, won't get there. Cunha will get it first. Rice tries to stop him, but Cunha gets away and tries to pass the ball in field. This is Hwang just outside the centre circle. Maz Faruqi at Anfield.
Alexander-Arnold so close to a 5th for Liverpool. Shot from distance, rifled off the woodwork in front of the Kop. Still Liverpool 4, Ipswich 0.
Lincoln 5, Peterborough 1, Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 3. Our latest scores in League One and the Scottish Premiership respectively. The Wolves supporters are getting a little bit frustrated because Wolves aren't going forward quickly and with any really ambition.
To be honest, as soon as they've gone down to 10 against 10, Arsenal have bossed it, and that's a sign of a very, very good team. Lifted themselves and now utterly believe that they can see this out. However, it's only 1-0 to the Arsenal,
which is what the Arsenal supporters was just singing a short while ago. Brighton Everton, John Southall.
Brighton 0, Everton 1. Brighton camped in the Everton half, but better on the left of the area, just smashed it wide. They've had half chances though. Brighton, Pedro, Baliba, Ruter. Brighton, are they running out of time? Brighton 0, Everton 1.
Hwang inside the penalty area, left hand side, back to Aït-Nouri, left corner of the box. Timber stands in front of him, Down the side it goes. Hwang, Aït-Nouri makes a run in towards the penalty area. Hwang loses the ball only momentarily. Aguadou has it back once again. Tall, big defender. This is going to be Bellegarde. Thought he was going to shoot. Gets another opportunity. Passes the ball in towards Cunha. Lays it off to Doherty. 25 yards out. Gives the ball away. Goal at Southampton. Lee Blakeman.
Southampton are back in it. Southampton 2, Newcastle 3. Mateus Fernandes played through. Tidy finish. 8 minutes to go. Southampton 2, Newcastle 3.
Bellegarde in the centre circle gets it back for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Pat Nevin.
Just a moment there. Rice thought he was away. He had a line in front of him. He could have got it past that line. He was through running on his own, but he just couldn't get it past the last defender. The Wolves have lifted it a little bit in the last couple of minutes, passing it well, not panicking, getting into decent possessions, but haven't created anything yet.
Remember, down at the foot of the Premier League, Everton are still leading at Brighton and Hove Albion, so all of a sudden there could be potentially a 7-point gap between Everton and Wolves, who are just outside the relegation zone as it currently stands. Cunha, edge of the area, runs into Gabriel, picked up by Raya.
Don't you think I hadn't noticed that, mate? Big moment for Everton, huge moments for Everton at the moment if they can hold on to that, but Wolves haven't given this up, but they'll know that they've thrown away a brilliant opportunity if they don't get anything out of this. But it's quite wide open. There is two tired teams out there. It's two quite open teams as well out there.
The two results in League One earlier: Cambridge beat Mansfield 3-2, Huddersfield 0, Bolton Wanderers 1. Latest scores: Barnsley 0, Stevenage 0, Burton Albion lead Rotherham by 4-2. Charlton and Shrewsbury is goalless. Exeter City 0, Blackpool 3, Leyton Orient 2, Reading 0, Lincoln 5, Peterborough 1, Stockport lead Crawley 2-0, Wigan lead Bristol Rovers 2-0, and Wycombe Wanderers 0, Northampton 0. Latest scores in the Championship to come. This is 5 Live, the World Service. Here we are at Molineux with 8 minutes remaining, and Arsenal lead by 1-0, and both teams are down to 10 men. Bellegarde almost falling over, does stumble down to his knees, and a little bit like a late night straggler at a taxi rank at a city centre at 1 in the morning, he eventually falls over.
I can remember seeing something like that. I can't remember his name though. Do you know, I've looked at the way this is playing out just now, and I think they maybe get Kai Havertz off 3 times in a row now. The ball's come up to him and he's thrown himself down. Hadn't thrown himself down, now has just given Wolves the front foot. You cannot do that just now. You must hold it up. Doesn't matter how tired you are.
Guedes is going to be coming on for Wolves. There is activity, and also Tommy Doyle. In fact, it might even be a triple change for Wolverhampton Wanderers in a desperate attempt to try and salvage something from this game. The other player might well be Rodrigo Gomez, who is going to be coming on. Exeter City 1, Blackpool 3 is the latest score in League One, as Doherty, the referee's whistle has blown.
They want to make changes as quickly as they can. They're running out of time. There has to be some change now, because you know they've had the whole second half here. Well, most of it they had with an extra man, but they've had a long time to create. They've maybe 1 chance in the second half, maybe 2.
Let's get an update from Bournemouth. Alistair Bruce ball.
4th goal for Bournemouth. They've ripped Nottingham Forest apart. The match ball this week going to Dango Ouattara, if he's not offside for this one. Swerving shot from Tavernier. Sells palmed it out. Ouattara was there and stuck it into the back of the net.
Long ball downfield, Aït-Nouri onto it, tried to push it past Raya. Raya with a save away towards his right-hand side. Threat remains. Cunha, left-hand corner of the penalty area, tried to thread it through. Hwang couldn't get there. Rice will tidy up.
Another great chance there. We know Aït-Nouri's very good. He's decent when he's 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper there. He gets on target, but Raya got outside and made himself very big indeed.
We've got 6 minutes remaining. St Johnstone have equalised at home to Motherwell. 1-1 at McDermott Park in the Scottish Premiership. QPR 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2 is the latest score in the Championship. Timber is forward for Arsenal, who lead by 1-0. 6 minutes remain. Certainly no shortage of talking points from this one. And it'll be dissected in Sports Report at 5 with all the reaction. And then, of course, you can have a chance to see it yourself on Match of the Day tonight on BBC One at 10:30. It is with Martinelli. Plays it back. Got those latest scores I haven't forgotten to tell you about in the Championship. Arsenal supporters, though, making the noise. Out then towards Saliba, forward towards Rice. Raya has made 2 good saves second half, hasn't he?
Yeah, you'd have expected a little bit more from Wolves at home, but it's been pretty controlled for most of the time, Arsenal. But that little break there from Aït-Nouri just tells you they cannot relax. They cannot switch off. They have to keep on being professional.
Let's go to St Mary's. Lee Blakeman.
Southampton's second goal disallowed for a very, very tight offside following the longest VAR check you'll ever see. So it's now Southampton 1, Newcastle 3.
Carlisle are back in front at Fleetwood. Fleetwood 1, Carlisle United 2. That's in League 2. Arsenal with Trossard. Mikel Arteta will be absolutely delighted with the application of his players in this second half. As Partey comes forward, looks towards Havertz, stepping forward with Semedo.
Arteta cannot believe that. Partey's he's been brilliant today, by the way, Partey. But do not give the ball away under no pressure. Did brilliantly, then terrible ball.
Cunha from distance shoots and it bounced just in front of Raya, but he had his body behind the ball. It was a good save. St Johnstone with 2 quick goals have turned it around at McDermott Park. They lead Motherwell by 2 goals to 1 in the Scottish Premiership, and Tierney's going to be coming on for Arsenal.
Well, there's a possibility they could go to a back 5. Can't see any injuries there. You don't think they'll take off Calafiori? So it may well be that he comes on as a kind of left wing back in place of possibly Trossard in this situation, which makes a lot of sense.
Calafiori flicks it forward. Trossard being pursued by Andre. Andre wrestles into the floor. The referee will give the free kick. There are groans. Now we'll have that triple change. So first of all, it will be the Arsenal change for Kieran Tierney, who's been a substitute in 3 of the last 4 games. He's going to be coming on, and Martinelli is the player who's going to be going off. Tommy Doyle has come on. Andre has gone off. Meanwhile, there's a goal at Sunderland. Chris Coles.
A 90th minute equaliser for bottom side Plymouth. Nathaniel Ogbeta off the bench to maybe rescue a point. Fine finish into the corner. Sunderland 2, Plymouth 2.
Nori has come off for Gonzalo Guedes. And another goal at Bournemouth. Alistair Bruce Ball.
When on earth is this going to stop? Where did Bournemouth get the energy from? They've got a 5th. Antoine Semenyo. Clever finish, right-footed across the keeper into the bottom corner. 4 past Newcastle last week, 5 past Forest this week. Bournemouth 5, Forest 0.
Wow. Bournemouth 5, Forest 0. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Everton 1. Liverpool lead Ipswich 4-0. Southampton 1, Newcastle United 3. Arsenal lead by a goal to 0. That third and final change, incidentally, Rodrigo Gomez coming on for Doherty. So that's been the changes made by Wolverhampton Wanderers. The results in the Championship earlier: Luton Town 0, Millwall 1. Norwich put 5 past Swansea City 5-1. It finished Stoke City 0, Oxford United 0. These are the latest scores in the Championship. Bristol City 2, Blackburn 1. Cardiff 2, Derby County 1. Coventry City 2, Watford 1. Preston lead Middlesbrough by 2 goals to 1. Queen's Park Rangers winning run coming to an end. They're trailing at home to Sheffield Wednesday by 2 goals to 0. Sunderland 2, Plymouth 2. West Bromwich Albion leading Portsmouth by 5 goals to 0. You're up to date. Sports report coming up. Tierney with a good cross. Havertz tries to get there, gets on the end of it, loops in the air, caught by Pat Nevin.
Yeah, good fall there by Kieran Tierney. He's come on, he's given a lot of cover there on the left hand side. He'll play left back, left wing back, left centre back if he has to just now. But as soon as he gets that cross in, he didn't even look to where it landed. He started running back to get cover there. Brilliant play.
The men's final in the Australian Open tennis. Yannick Sinner against Alexander Zverev tomorrow morning on BBC Radio 5 Live at 8:30. 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. Spurs Leicester at 2. Palace Brentford on Sports Extra. Aston Villa West Ham to follow at 4:30. So more Premier League coverage tomorrow afternoon on 5 Live. As this is Guedes coming forward, and he chips the ball out towards that far side, but Trossard doing his defensive duties, plays it back. Raya has to react, slides out and goes out of play for a throw. Referee gives that in favour of Arsenal with a free kick. Full time in the rugby, James Burridge.
38-31 to Gloucester, an inspired second half comeback. 3 tries in a row. Clement Harris and Blake finishing it off. Gloucester go into the top 4 on points difference over Leicester.
Pat Nevin.
Just a moment there, Raya came flying out there. He didn't need to come that far out, right at the edge of his box. It was a slight tackle. Had he got that a millimetre wrong, that would have been a penalty given away unnecessarily. However, he got it right, so he can have that fist pump and enjoy it.
Salford City have got a goal back. Cheltenham 2, Salford City 1. Cunha plays a hard ball through the middle, and it goes all the way through a crowd of players. High fives from the 2 central defenders, Gabriel and Saliba, as it goes out for a goal kick that Arsenal will be in no real hurry to take as they lead by a goal to 0. There's been another goal at Liverpool, Maz Farouki.
And it's something for the travelling Ipswich fans to celebrate. A header scored in front of the away fans by Jacob Greaves from a corner. So it's Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1.
They've conceded 10 goals now in their last 2 games of Ipswich. Another goal at West Brom, Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Portsmouth. Consolation of the debutant Waddingham, and that's the final whistle. Mowat, Dean Garner 2, Wallace Swift the scorers for West Brom. Comprehensive. They've beaten Portsmouth 5-1.
We're 8 minutes away from Sports Report, and we've got 5 minutes of added on time, which we're now into here on 5 Live. With Arsenal still leading by a 0-0 in a game where both teams have had a player sent off. Partey runs forward, left-hand side of the penalty area. Aguado will then clear it towards Doyle. Doyle deep inside his own half, has to clear the ball forward. Gabriel against Hwang, fouled, free kick.
I'll tell you what, the intelligence of that play by Gabriel is off the scale. He was pulling first, then he got pulled back, and then he just stuck his body to take the hit, slow the game down, kill any momentum whatsoever that Wolves are trying to build up. So superb defensive play. He knows every dark art there is.
Arsenal looking to extend their unbeaten run in the Premier League to 13. 29 points out of a possible 39 would be their return. As Semedo turns and clears, Hwang backing into Gabriel, falls to the floor, the referee quickly on the scene. Wolves have a free kick taken quickly. Cunha sliding in was Rice. The referee says that's another free kick for Wolves as they advance further 10 yards down the pitch.
Yeah, but almost like rugby the way they were playing that there. Kept on giving away the free kicks there, Arsenal, but they had to kill that momentum. There is a little bit of a building from this Wolverhampton side. You can see a little bit of panic in that midfield area, but you expect that. It's the end of the game. They're going to throw everything at Arsenal now.
We have just over 3 minutes remaining of added on time. Quite a high line from those red and white shirts of Arsenal. Some 30 yards out from David Raya's goal. The free kick will be taken some 6 yards just to the right of the centre circle for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are playing from left to right, attacking the old South Bank here at Molineux. Looking for a dramatic equaliser. It's hit on the diagonal towards the left corner of the area. Rodrigo Gomez picks up that loose ball for Wolves. Arsenal with Timber though get the ball, and Timber goes to the ground and gets a free kick for the away team.
Super battling, absolutely brilliant battling. Every one of the players, you've mentioned that a few times yourself, have battled brilliantly there. And even the players that brought in Calafiore and Kieran Tierney, they've done a job as well. I have to say, Arteta, he'll be delighted with the win. He'll be delighted with the effort. I think he'll be quite pleased with his own tactics today. They've worked very, very well.
Well, when they've taken the lead in the Premier League, they're unbeaten in the previous 29 when scoring first. And this would be 3 ever so valuable points for Mikel Arteta, bearing in mind the circumstances. Raya hits it long. By my watch, 2 minutes remain of added on time.
If they actually get the win here, Arsenal, watch the players at the end of the game here. They will celebrate like it's a cup final. They will love getting the 3 points when they were under so much pressure, with so many difficulties.
Partey hits the ball forward. Havertz is onto it. Got to go it alone. Right hand side of the penalty area. He wins the corner. Gainey just slowed it down. Knew what he was doing. Gets the corner off the legs of Bueno.
I had a look at the back post, the back of the park there. Saliba and Gabriel, no effort whatsoever yet to go for this corner kick. When's the last time you've seen that happening with Arsenal? They're always desperate to go. Both of them standing back alongside Calafiore. This will be taken short. There is not a single player. Oh, now there is Tierney. There was not one Arsenal player in the box for this corner there.
But you're right, Tierney is the sole.
And he's only on the line.
He is.
The 18-yard line.
They're going to take this short and keep it in play over on that far side. With Everton still leading at Brighton and Hove Albion, that gap at the bottom will open up to 7 points, and all of a sudden you're looking like it's going to be 3 from 4. Southampton, Leicester, Ipswich and Wolves in that relegation dogfight as the ball is played by Aguado across his penalty area towards Semedo. Here is Doyle, plays it back towards Sarr. You can hear the groans of frustration from the Wolves support. Bueno comes forward, passes the ball into no man's land really. Hwang is the one who's got a chase, and it will be easily dealt with and cleared downfield by Gabriel. Havertz, was he coming back from an offside position?
No, he wasn't. He was onside 100%.
Was he fouled then?
I'm not sure. Well, he says he was fouled there. He's gone down. He needs to get up. He's cheap. It's the third or fourth time he's done that. He cannot do that. You must get everyone back and working.
Now or never for Wolverhampton Wanderers. 20 seconds remain of added on time. Cunha's cross headed away by Gabriel and cleared further by Rice. Havertz is on his feet, but he's clutching his left hamstring at the moment.
He's actually clutching everywhere in his body. Look, he has worked hard, but he's worked hard enough.
Look at the reaction at the Arsenal bench. Mikel Arteta hugs and embraces his coaching staff. Do not underestimate the significance of this result at both ends of the table. Both down to 10 men, but Arsenal were superb in the second period, and Calafiore with a winning goal 16 minutes from time.
Well, sometimes you're up against it, everything seems to go against it. You have to fight back, you have to give it everything, you have to hang on in there, and Arsenal have done that brilliantly today. You know, there were periods of the game, the start of the second half, I thought you cannot keep going, and they couldn't have kept going, but they also got the little bit of luck they needed. They got back to equal, 10 against 10, and after that, as I said to you right at the time, the most likely team to go on and win this would be Arsenal. They've done it, they've shown incredible character, and at the end of this game, I don't know if I've ever seen Arsenal celebrating a 1-0 win away from home at Wolves as much as they are right now.
They're still fighting for the title. It's finished at Molineux. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Arsenal 1.